Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Chess 24 India coverage of the Julius Baer Challengers Chess Tour, which is also known as the Baby Chess Tour by Anish. Welcome everyone. It's going to be an exciting day, and we still don't have the live action yet, although it's time. So this is Srinath and where's Soumya, my co-host.
I'm right
My
here, Shri.
hi, Soumya.
What a pleasant evening, and I'm so excited to cover this tournament along with you. The lineup looks amazing, and the fact that Judith Polgar and Vladimir Kramnik are heading the teams makes it so exciting.
Definitely. This is, over the last 1 year during the pandemic, one of the biggest complaints was that, yeah, we have this uh, champion chess tour, the elite players are playing. But what about the juniors? What about the lower rated players? And slowly, Chess 24 keeps coming up with new tournaments. And we had the champion chess tour, which is an amazing initiative by the Play Madness group and Chess 24. And now we also have the Challenges Chess Tour. We had the Vidit Chess Tour. So many tournaments being organized by the Play Madness group as well as the Chess 24. And yeah, I think it's an amazing job being done by them, which is really helpful for all the players around, the juniors as well as
Absolutely,
the
and I think
seniors.
the juniors have prepared really well. I've been following their social media handles. Many of them are very active on social media as well. So just today morning, I saw Zansaya Abdul Malik's Instagram post about how she's so excited to be a part of Judith Polgar's team, who happens to be her favorite chess player as well. So what an opportunity for these youngsters to not only play in such a strong event but also be mentored by their idols, and also so many strong coaches. For example, Surya Ganguly from India is one of the coaches in the Judith Polgar team, and there is Arthur Kogan, who was a coach of the Italian team for a long time when Fabiano Caruana was part of the team. There is Hu Yufan, who will be coaching some of the players. Ju Wenjun, the current women's world champion, is one of the coaches. So a long, very strong list of coaches as well for the kids.
True. Uh, so exciting opportunity, and some of the games have begun, but I think our Indian games, has any of the games begun yet? We have
So,
the live board, and
and from India, we have Nihal Sareen playing, who is your student, Shri. How are you feeling about that? We have Nihal, Pragyananda, Leon Mendonca, and Gukesh. Four of the strongest, most promising prodigies in the world are from India and are playing in this tournament.
it's a
What?
lovely feeling. It's a lovely feeling. I'm really excited. The last time I was seriously preparing chess was again, during the World Youth, and that was like about 4 months ago, and now we are back here. So it's a lovely feeling. It's lovely to get back to that environment of playing, of preparing for these high level games and playing. It's a lovely feeling. It's like that warm feeling you get when you do something you love. Yeah.
What would be your? I'm sure you already gave Nihal some pre-game tips and everything before you started the stream, Shri. But what would be your advice to, as a coach of one of the so many strong prodigies? What would be your advice to all the players playing here?
I don't have to give any specific advice because they are really, they're quite seasoned. And I think, again, it's very important how they start this, how they get into uh, get into shape. The first day, the first
Right.
few games are going to be important, and then it will come down to how well they play in the last few rounds. That's going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah, for
So
sure. Like usually, for the Janta watching, we usually divide the tournament into two halves, the first half and the second half. And we always, assess how what we need to do in the second half based on what we have done in the first half already. So the first half can prove to be a huge confidence booster, as well as it can prove to be challenging, and we can take the second half. Sometimes the first half doesn't go our way, but there's always hope to come back in the second half, because by then the players' staminas have decreased, and the fittest, it becomes a case of the survival of the fittest then.
True,
So
true, true. And also to take the people through the tournament format,
mhm.
because the games haven't yet started. So this is the tournament format in general. This is the tournament schedule. We start with this Polgar Challenge, April 8 to 11, $15,000 prize fund. And then there's the Gelfand Challenge, the Hui Fun Challenge, and the Kramnik Challenge. And in all these four tournaments, it's like a Grand Prix. They get the 2 points, just like the Champion Chess Tour. And finally, there's a Grand Final, and which will be after these four tournaments. The dates to be announced.
wow.
This is the round one pairings. So Nihal is playing against Lei Tingje with black, and Prag is playing against Murzhin Voloda from Russia, who is even smaller than Prag and Nihal. Can you imagine that, Soumya?
Really? I think they are all the same height though. Maybe
No,
age
no.
wise, they're a little bit here and there. Yes, I have seen Murzin in many open tournaments, and he kept on getting stronger in every tournament that I met him. Fun fact, OP. And also, Nihal's opponent, Li Tingyi, I have played against her thrice, and she happens to be a student of Wang Yu and Li Chao, who are two of the strongest Chinese grandmasters. They were 2,700 plus at one point. Wang Yu was a part of the Olympiad gold medal winning team. I think even Li Chao as well when they won the gold for the second time, right?
Yeah.
So amazing. Li Tingyi as well is an amazing prodigy and one of the strongest pillars of the Chinese women's team. Um, and Mendon Leon is playing Christopher Wujin Yu. Is Leon our latest grandmaster, Shri? I
I
think so.
think so. Yeah, I
He's
think
the
so.
latest grandmaster from India because he happened to be the only one who was stuck in Europe, and then he made the most of his opportunity there. He turned his adversity into opportunity and played a string of tournaments, crossed 2,500, became a grandmaster, all in the span of this pandemic lockdown, staying away from his mother and sister who are in India. So he and his father have been traveling throughout Europe playing in tournaments.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
Leon might have an upper hand in terms of being the most experienced in the last 1 year,
At some point I thought our ratings would change in such a way that Leon is number one and Hare Krishna is number two, and everyone else is inactive in India.
You never know. We are facing another lockdown soon, so we never know.
Yeah, I know, I know. It could still be true.
By the way, the games have begun. The games have begun. And before we move on to the games, let's just discuss the last player whom we didn't cover. Gukesh is playing Jair Jonas Bull, who is also a huge prodigy. He's from Denmark, I believe.
Yes, yes, yes. He's from Denmark. The boy clearly is sharp and clever because he has played the Catalan opening. So I already have a favorable impression of him. No,
And
we have
Gukesh,
prodigies all around here. Yeah, there are
yeah,
five boys, five girls, but all of them are amongst the best in the world,
yes.
and all of them young, all of them sharp, all of them uh,
Hungry to prove themselves. More important
absolutely
than anything else.
having not played much in the last 1 year. Yeah.
Yes. And also, there is a place, is there a place in the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour, Shri? I believe there is.
Yes, yes, yes. Whoever wins this, so there are like 20 players, right?
Yes.
uh, and it's just a round robin, so it's not,
Mm-hmm.
although the team points are counted and the coach points are counted and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
ultimately what the players are playing for is
Mm-hmm.
the person who is going to score the most out of these 19 games.
Mm-hmm.
They will get a place in the upcoming Meltwater Champions Tour right away.
Yeah, so I believe the winner of each of these four events gets a chance to play in the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour. So the next one, basically, the winner of this event will get to play in the April edition of the Meltwater Champions Chess Tour, which starts on 24th of April. And that's a huge thing, to play with the world's strongest players. Is something they
Yes,
all
yes,
must
yes.
be very motivated for, and I'm sure they're all going to play fighting chess and show their best. One
There's a
more
super
thing.
chat from Suyash Singh. Could you please explain this Challenger tour for people just joining in? Soumya, you can do that if you like.
Oh, sure.
So,
So
yeah.
the Challenges Chess Tour is basically a $1 lakh chess tour for the prodigies. The under 18 boys and under 25 girls have been chosen from all across the world. 20 players in each team. There are two teams, Team Polgar and Team Kramnik, who will be competing against each other. And they have chosen 10 players in their teams. And they are basically have the world's strongest players chosen according to the sensibilities of the Chess 24 team, as well as Judith Polgar and Vladimir Kramnik, who have been the world's strongest players for such a long time and idols for most of these junior players who are a part of their team. The
So,
winners.
personally, do you have a preference between either of the two teams?
Oh no, not really. Actually, I think both the teams are balanced, because I see that they have been very careful. For example, we have four Indian players playing, and two of them are in Team Polgar and two of them in Team Kramnik. So I think they have been careful enough to make a balance and not
Yeah,
make
yeah.
any of the either of the teams one-sided. And also there are many women players playing, like Polina Shuvalova, who was a part of the Russian team in the recent FIDE Olympiad, online chess Olympiad, and they tied for gold along with India.
Yeah, Paulina
Then
played against Divya, you
Divya
know.
in the last round. Yes, I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
remember.
Divya was absolutely, beating her. I
Yes,
mean,
yes.
that's I came out a bit strong there personally, but Divya had a very good position.
Yes, I remember very well. She played classical, is it, Divya?
Yeah, with black she played classical, with white
She
she
played
played the
classical.
King's Indian attack.
Yes, I remember this Bishop F1, Bishop D3 maneuver. Yeah, I remember it quite well now. Then there is Zansaya Abdul Malik, who is one of the strongest players under 20, and she's also a deputy of her city, by the way. She has now joined politics and she holds a
Ah,
post.
deputy.
Yes, she's a deputy in her city, and she also
Wow.
has a chess academy by her name and very, very famous and popular in her country. So is Dinara Saduakosova, who is a country mate as well. They both are around the same age. They both are full grandmasters. Dinara as well is a UNICEF ambassador in her country. So
Impressive,
they are,
impressive, impressive.
yeah, they are already huge stars at a very young age. There is Sara Khadem from Iran, Iran number one, and I think she's also close to 2500, and she won a silver in the World Blitz as well as World Rapid Championship last year, and as such was awarded the best overall player along with Magnus Carlsen.
Amazing,
So
amazing.
yeah, these kids are amazing, and wow, I mean, there's a long list of achievements next to each of them. um, and yeah, let's go on to the games. Let's go on to
Yeah,
the
what's
games.
going on in the games? So Nihal with the black pieces, and it looks pretty. So I'm not going to reveal much about the opening.
Right.
Just don't. And
Maybe I'll do the guesswork and you can just nod, Shri.
that works. That works.
So Nihal is black against Lee Tingi, who's a very aggressive player. She always goes for direct lines. And she has chosen to play Roy Lopez against Nihal. Nihal has gone for the deferred Stenitz variation, which is after A6 and D6 in the Roy Lopez. And Now, after bishop b3, knight a5, he wins the light square bishop, but this is still theory. What white gets in return is a lead in development. The king is still in the center. So immediately she breaks open the center with d4. Knight into b3, a into b3, bishop b7, d into e5, very logical. Now, if black plays d into e5, white can take on d8 first. And after rook into d8, knight e5. This position is already better for white because white is a pawn up and e4 pawn isn't hanging, because after knight into e4, there is a move like f3, kicking the knight away. And then once the knight moves, you can play knight c6, discovered check, and take the rook.
Yeah.
So these kind of tactics do not work. That's why black has taken knight into e4, keeping the e file closed, and white takes e into d6. And now Nihal has been thinking, spending some time, because he has to be careful not to lose the knight on e4, but with knight g5 stuff coming in. So
True, true, true.
I am guessing they both are out of preparation now by their time, only by their time, and not by the expression on Shri's face.
I'm just curious. Let's say Nihal takes bishop into d6 here, then what do you do?
Yes, bishop into d6, knight into g5.
Knight g5. You just go knight g5, yeah, not knight
Yeah,
c3. So
knight
let's say I
g5.
just casual shot.
Yeah, because knight on e4 is not hanging. Or is it hanging, chat? Can you tell us if it's hanging or not?
Yes, 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 chat. Yes, this is good. Good question by Soumya. And while we're at it, yes, it's a wonderful initiative by Chess24. So do like the stream and subscribe to the channel so more people can come in and support. We get larger numbers, we get more Indian tournaments. This is, I think, already this already feels amazing. You know, there are 4 Indians out of 20 players, so 20, 25, no, yes, 25%, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
25%.
20%, no,
No,
20%, 20% are Indians. Yes, 20% of
there are 20 players. Yeah, so 20% maths needs improvement, hopefully. Improving maths and chess with Soumya and Shri.
yes, missing Divya. She has improved so much in maths. Nowadays, she doesn't even read stuff like pawn a2, pawn b2. She just looks at these things and sees a square, b square. She has changed that much, you know. Nowadays, she has become such a max pro.
Oh, that's amazing. And by the way, our chat is also amazing. Chat has found bishop h2, but not immediately. Many of the chat members said it right, that after knight g5 short castle, we take knight into e4, bishop e4, and after rook e4, we take bishop into h2 check, king into h2, and the queen on d1 now is unsupported. So we simply pick her up and enjoy.
Yes,
Nice.
yes,
Good
yes.
stuff,
But
chat.
Nihal
Good
took
stuff.
queen into d6. He decided to trade the queens. Queen into d6, queen into d6, and now bishop into d6. This is the present position on the board. So what do you reckon? What do you reckon that
Bishop
Nihal
into
has in mind
d6.
against knight c3 or knight g5? What must he have thought? Now I'm
Wow.
pretty
Is it
sure.
because
Hmm?
after knight into e4, let's say knight g5 short castle, knight into e4, you pin the knight with rook e8, and after f3 you pick it up after f5?
Quite possible, quite possible. It has to be one of these kind of tactics. But
Yeah.
I can't help but notice that in all these variations, white will be the one with a pawn up at the end, and black will be the one who is trying to equalize. So, is there some way to equalize here for white? This is
Do you think
probably
white
the
will be a pawn?
challenge.
Are you sure white will be a pawn? Because right now the position is equal,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm just wondering if there is a way to save the e4 pawn. Let's say we go knight g5 here as white. So black cannot play f5 because of f3. So this is black's problem, that white is getting to play f3 once the knight on f3 moves. And that's why black needs to move his king away from the e5. So most probably he will play short castle, because long castle allows knight into e4, rook e8, and knight into d6 check. That would be painful. We don't want to go for that. So black surely will play short castle instead. And after knight e4, f5, f3, we can simply a knight e4,
Sorry.
rook e8, sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
f3, f5, and white plays knight to d2, I guess, right? That's what.
Yeah, knight to d2 because you don't want to get under this b4, yeah?
Right. So knight to d2, avoiding any kind of b4
Yeah, but the
tactics.
problem here is then how do you develop these pieces?
Yeah, the bishop on c1 is very suffocated. And unless you develop the bishop on c1, the rooks don't get connected. So actually, I like black. I mean, black is fine. I was actually wondering if uh,
Yeah.
black is the one playing for an advantage in that position, because he has pair of bishops and the position is quite open, and white's development is really poor. And his king, once you get this f3, this diagonal and this file, everything becomes weak around the king. So even though the queens are off, there are enough number of pieces on the board. So his king also doesn't feel very safe, even though there
Hmm,
are
hmm,
no
hmm.
mating nets, but it is definitely uncomfortable.
True, true, true. These are all the things that's also on late NJ's mind. I'm not sure if my pronunciation is anywhere close there,
Lee,
but
yeah, Lee Tingy, I think
Li Tingi, yeah.
is the way to pronounce her name. Yes, and I
Okay.
believe her name is Tingy and her surname is Lee. That's how Chinese names usually work. Like in Hu Yifan, the name is Yifan and the surname is Hu. In Ju Wenjun, the name is Wenjun and the surname is Ju. That's how it works usually.
Ah, okay, okay, okay.
Do you want to check Pragyananda's game? He is white against Murzin Valadar, and they have also got a very interesting position. But more importantly, Prag has only 3 minutes left.
Ooh,
It's
ooh,
I
ooh.
it's a King's Indian sort of position on the board, and black. There seems to be an attack coming on the black king. I think after 8 g6 that has just been played. Yes, black played
Yeah,
h6, not to.
Murjin plays really fast. He plays a lot of Kings Indian. He's very aggressive,
Oh, I
and
see.
this is the yeah. So he plays incredibly fast. In a way, I think he's a bit like Vishy in that sense, you know.
Oh, wow. That's a huge compliment for Murzin for sure. And this
Yeah,
H,
there's a funny fact.
yes.
Do you know what is Prag's Chess24 username?
Oh, no, I don't. What is it?
It's Indian Anand.
Oh, wow. So Indian Anand playing against the Russian Anand. Yeah?
Yeah, it's the funniest username I've ever seen in my life, like Indian Anand.
But he's also Anand, no? Pragyanand.
Yeah,
It's just that we already know one Anand, so we don't refer to anyone else
yeah,
as
yeah,
Anand.
I know. So when I tried to learn to spell Prag's name, I used to divide it like that. Pragg. That's the first part. Prag, you have to add two G's, and since he plays good games, GG comes in his name. And then Na. I don't know whether you want to remember it as sodium or whether he's rejecting something, but there's an Na, Pragna, and then Anand, Ha. So yes to Anand. So that's the way you can pronounce it correctly. Prag, Na, Anand, Ha,
What?
and you have the spelling. It's the
That's
easiest way to remember.
not, that's not the pronunciation, even though, even
I
though
mean, not the
that's a,
pronunciation, but the spelling guide.
that's a wonderful way to remember his spelling,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So during the online Olympiad, I was, filling these names and stuff. So then I had to remember how to spell Prag correctly.
Mm-hmm.
In chats and stuff, you just type Praggggg and the job is done.
Mm-hmm.
But officially, when I had to spell it correctly, I had to make this guide for myself. So Prag Na Anand Ha. Pragna Ananda.
Very deep, very deep, and useful stuff. So Pragananda played this d5. What would you call this opening? Is there a name for this opening with
King's
h3
Indian
and bishop
H3, Bishop
e3?
E3. I think it's a bit like the Auerbach system, although
It
not
is,
entirely.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
we usually in Auerbach we develop the bishop to g5, right?
Yeah, Bishop E2, Bishop G5. So I think this is some
A
Makgono
mix,
something.
a
I'm not
mix
sure
of
though.
Petrosian system as well, because in the Petrosian system, white usually plays d5 early and allows knight a6, knight c5.
True.
And yeah, of course, once you play h3, white's intention is very clear. He wants to play g4 and, if possible, long castle and attack on the king side.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
H4 f6 makes sense, because otherwise black will be reduced to passivity, so he needs to um, open up the files for his rook, and also the white king is still on the center, so that helps. Black has already played a5 a4, so in case there could be some knight b3 sacrifices in the air once white long castles. So white decided not to castle at all after rook b1. So
Mm-hmm,
already
mm-hmm,
the
mm-hmm.
decision was made here. And bishop d7, h5, f into g5, h6. And here h6 is very important. I think otherwise black's position was falling apart. h6 was the only way to keep things under control. Bishop g4, I would say, is a good move, right? Because black's light squares are weak. And
True,
once
true,
you
true, true.
And this
Uh,
King's Indian bishop, which is supposed to be the pride of Black's position in the King's Indian, is completely blocked right now with his own pawns. So, uh, White should be happy with his position as long as there are no tactics coming in.
but not quite blocked, no.
Yeah, now he did.
It's yeah. Now it's open. No, I
Yeah,
think Prague is in trouble. Prague is in trouble, and generally these are the kind of situations where he's in his element. But yeah, let's see how it goes. He has 1 minute, and he has a clearly worse position. But Prague, in a sense, he's more like the Indian Karyakin. He's
uh,
a fantastic minister of defense. There are so many positions where Prague is completely losing, but he manages to stay resilient. He manages to defend.
oh wow.
So let's see how this goes. Do you want to have a quick check at how Gukesh's game is going?
Yes, let's go. Let's go at Gukesh's board. Oh
Gukesh's
my
board,
god.
it's this is one of the games between two Polgar boys, and Gukesh is also in incredible trouble.
And time trouble as well. I mean, he's playing in seconds. And what is this position? Queen c2 has just been played. Probably g6 is the only way. f5, but knight
F5,
into
but
e6.
Rook A1 and GG, no?
Even rook a1. Yeah, yeah. Rook a1 is also
Yeah,
over.
tough start for Gukesh.
Um,
Tough start for Gukesh, and he has resigned. So
oh, tough game.
no worries, Gukesh. It's a long tournament. It's 19 games, and a win and a loss at the beginning, it doesn't change things by much. And yeah, the other Indian kid, Mendonca, Leon Mendonca. Let's see how this game goes. Okay, so yeah. Um, so this is the other game here, and yeah, so we are here. Leon with less than 30 seconds. The material is about equal, but Leon's king a bit exposed. To me, it looks like white is pressing a bit here, but black is, still not down and out. Black is still defending. Black is still doing okay. And yeah, so what are the options for white here? How can white try and uh, improve his advantage? Black played queen b6 for his last move, trying to attack queen b2. A lot of focus on the f6 point here. A lot of two of white's pieces concentrated on f6, but black is defending it with three pieces. So he has excessive defenders and he has this well protected. In the meanwhile, black is trying to exert pressure on the c3 point. So queen b6, and if white plays b3, then black will come rook c8 next. Christopher Yu, Leon's opponent, is one of the best players, best juniors from USA. He's very strong. I'm not entirely sure how old he is, but he's definitely under 18. Yes, 19 games for everyone, Sander.
Yeah,
Uh,
Christopher Yu happens to be the youngest international master from USA, by the way.
oh, is he?
Yes, and just let me check his exact age. Um, oh,
That's
he's
a
born in
interesting fact.
2006, so not anymore. Abhimanyu Mishra definitely broke his record. But
Oh,
in
yes, yes, yes. I
February,
know Abhimanyu quite well.
yeah.
I have done a few sessions with him in the, not personal sessions, but a few group sessions with him in the Pro Training Academy.
Oh, I
He's
see.
really sharp, and he was also part of the commentary for one of the champion chess too. He was a guest for one of the days,
On Chess
and
24 India, on our
yeah,
channel.
on Chess
Oh,
24 India.
wow.
Yeah,
So our chat
he's really
already
sharp.
is familiar with him. And before Abhimanyu became a international master, it was Christopher Yu who held the record for the youngest international master from America ever. So huge achievement by him, and he is 15 years old now. 15 years old.
By the way, a quick update: Nihal's game ended in a draw. So that's one of the results of the first round. It kind of went the way we thought it would until this point. You know, 94 rook e8. Lay played knight c3, f5, f3, bishop b4, bishop d2, takes, rook e6, rook a d1, and then Nihal just took the pawn on e4, and it went into this endgame where they repeated moves, the opposite color bishop. So that's one result, and so the Gukesh has lost. Prag's game still going on against Murjan. Prag in huge trouble. Prag completely lost. But let's see if we can pull something out from here. And Leon's game is the other game which is going on here.
What do you think about Leon's game? I mean, both of them are under incredible time pressure and a completely normal position on the board, nothing much happening. Um,
Leon's game, yeah, I think it's a pretty even game. I think it's going to go
yes,
on for some time. They're not going to make any big mistakes here because
I would
uh,
certainly consider playing h4 and king g2, rook h1, and just going for it as white. Uh, but
h4, what? Sorry.
h4, king g2, rook h1, this kind of stuff, like I would surely at least consider playing that, especially when you have such less time, and just putting pressure on the opponent is a good idea.
Right. But yeah, Christopher choosing to
Yeah,
stay
because
focused
now
here, but
the
it feels
c3,
like Leon
yeah,
is
Leon
slowly
is
starting
taking
to take
over.
over. Yeah,
Right, because now the e4 pawn is not exactly hanging because the bishop on e7 also hangs. So let's say knight into e4, knight into e4, queen e4, bishop into e7 is hanging. So white is still sort of holding on, I guess.
yeah. White is sort of hold. Oh, he missed bishop at six check. He
Oh
missed bishop at
no.
six. Oh,
Oh,
sad.
time pressure can be.
When he played queen d2, he was threatening bishop at six, but Leon played rook d4, attacking the queen. So this wasn't working. Rook d3, knight into e4, knight into e4, queen into e4. Sorry, rook c4. He played rook c4, and now this allowed bishop at six check. And this is the present position that we have
But
people.
now it's quite tough because the problem is like bishop d8, bishop b6 is an idea, but the d6 pawn hangs. So I would consider a try. He went knight d7. I would have considered playing knight e8 maybe, supporting the pawn on d6 and rerouting the bishop to b6.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is they both are in seconds and it's very hard to really calculate. They both are playing on intuition, and white is definitely much better now that he has an extra exchange.
By the way, can you hear me clearly? Just checking.
Yeah, I can hear you very well, Sri. How about
Okay,
you?
thank you. Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Yeah, so I think this kind of sums up the first round for our Indian kids, not quite the way we imagined it would go. One draw and one loss, and losing in the other two games. But don't worry, guys, don't worry. It's a 19 round event, and it's only the first of four cycles. So the more they play, the more warmed up they get. Uh, the more you're going to see them. And
True.
another thing, another huge disclaimer, guys, just don't go by the ratings here. Because today I keep mentioning this to people. Sometimes they ask me questions like, what do you think about Gukesh, or what do you think about some other kid like Murjin. So the thing about these kids is they improve so incredibly fast. Their rate of growth, their rate of pace of improvement is so fast. And we last saw all these kids pre-lockdown a year ago. 1 year is a very, very long time in the life of a teenager. It's almost 1/15th of Gukesh's life, out of which it's almost one third of his life since he started playing chess. It's a lot of time, and these people are improving so fast, and so they are also changing quite quickly. And because of this, it's uh, the information has to be updated. You cannot just go by what you knew in the past.
Right, but I also believe that these kids are so motivated that they're constantly working on chess. I mean, not having tournaments could have a psychological impact on most chess players, but I think when you're so young, you're just anyway playing online a lot, and you're anyway working on chess the whole time. That's what I feel. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Uh,
The motivation level is very high in all these kids, and that would surely help them, because this tournament was announced only in March. They didn't have so much time to prepare for it, but the fact that they must have been preparing the whole year around anyway would have surely helped them, will surely help them in this tournament.
Definitely.
By the way, just wanted to mention that the time control in this event is different from the Champions Chess Tour. The time control here is 10 minutes plus 5 seconds. That's why the games are much faster and the players are getting under time pressure much quicker. Of course, the number of rounds are 19 rounds, so too many rounds to go. And one game really does not make a huge difference, at least for now. And
By the way,
only
Prag
after,
has lost against Murjin. A quick update. Back to you,
oh,
Soumya.
okay. Well, yeah, I mean, he had a difficult position, and kudos to Murjin for converting his advantage. And uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
So,
as I
Leon
was,
hanging on, yeah, the game's still going on. Not a lot of progress in the last few moves, and I wouldn't write Leon out just yet. But the thing is, I think Leon also needs a bit more practice in playing these blitz uh,
time
scrambles.
control. Mhm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now maybe knight f2, knight h3, knight g5 could be an idea for white. But both the kids are under huge time pressure, and that I feel that is going to decide the game and not the moves as such.
True, true, true. So here it's a huge asset for it's a huge asset if your blitz skills are if it is well polished, if you can
Right.
call it that. And some of these kids are it's not something that happens automatically. It's not like you're young and you're fast.
Mhm.
That doesn't have to be the case all the time.
Right. You are
So
a huge blitz champion, Sri. What would you say would be the main skills required to be a good blitz player?
I think practice, 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 as with everything else. So what I noticed was a lot of people, they're just not used to taking decisions with less time. They have just not done this a lot. And as with everything else, if you haven't practiced it a lot, then you don't gain that kind of sense. Like for example, if you see, by default in classical chess, we are always trained to try and find the best moves in any position, right? So we
Right.
immediately start calculating. But when you get good at playing with less time, you automatically start playing these kind of safe moves.
Right.
If you see Nihal playing with these seconds and he gets into seconds in each of these games, you'll see that he has this extraordinary instinct of making these safe, decent moves. He's not looking for the best moves in all the positions, but he's just looking for safe moves which doesn't end up in a blunder.
Mm-hmm.
So like this, you pick up a lot of skills by just practicing a lot, by playing a lot of blitz games in general. And these things you cannot just will yourself. You cannot just say play fast and you play fast. That doesn't happen.
Right.
So it's just like any other thing.
Right. And I
Leon.
think Christopher, you managed to find a breakthrough in his position. Now, Rook F7 is definitely an idea. He doesn't go for it. He prevents knight to e5, and his idea is to put queen to f2, make a Alekhine battery, and then put the rook to f7 and win it all. So Leon forces him to play rook f7 with e5, and now queen f2 or maybe queen d2 and queen to h6 are two ideas. He played queen e3, but now rook into c3. Rook into c3 allows knight into e5. This is the problem. Okay, this game uh, is completely wild because of the time pressure, but basically white is definitely better here. He has a queen, and if he can manage to, yeah, he has brought knight to f2. Now he'll bring the knight to g5 and try to create threats against black's king.
Queen h6, queen h6. I think good move. Now knight h3 and
Yes,
knight g5 coming in. Knight h3.
yes,
If Leon takes knight into e4, then white has queen h7 check coming in. So yeah, now the
yes.
queen has entered into the black's king's position. The
Next
king's
move,
defenses
queen
has been breached,
b7.
and
Even queen into
king
g6
d5.
is
That's
good.
king d5. That's queen f7 mate. So he cannot defend this. I think
Oh,
Leon has to
that's a
resign
pretty
now.
mate. Yeah, this
He
is
can play on with knight f6, but then knight g5 check,
knight
king
g5.
e7, queen f7 check.
Oh, yeah, this is game over now for Leon. But he put up a very good fight. He put up a very good fight for a really long time, and must have given him a lot of confidence, because after blundering that exchange, he managed to almost hold the game. But Christopher, you found a way to break through despite having just 10 seconds on his clock each time.
Yes.
Really, really instructive the way he handled his time, by the way.
Yeah, Christopher is very decent at playing blitz. I noticed him when he played against Nihal Sarin in the Fisher Random World Championship,
Mhm.
which happened online even before the pandemic. And it was really, Nihal really had to work hard to win that game and qualify. They played in the last round, and I immediately knew that he was a talent to watch out for, because if someone is stretching Nihal like that, then definitely a strong player. And yeah, these kids are again constantly growing. So maybe a quick recap of the results before the round two. So the schedule of this tournament, the first game starts at 7:30, then 8:15, 9 o'clock, 9:45, and 10:30. It's already 8:14, so we have really short time, but probably enough time to quickly go through all the results. Olga lost against Zhu Jaina.
Sujinar.
Next time I'll let you pronounce the Chinese names. Yeah. Lei drew against Nihal. Carissa drew against Gunay Mamadzaga. Prag, as I like to call him because it's too long, lost against Murjin in an upset result. Salimova lost against Abdusatru Nodibek, who I think is a huge favorite for this tournament, along with Nihal. Dinara lost against Sara. Sarah's name also I prefer to just call her Sarah because
She as well prefers to call herself Sarah, so that's okay.
Sarah and Prag are similar in that sense. Leong lost against Abdul Malik Janjia, which is again an upset. Christopher Yu defeated Leon Mendonca.
Mhm.
Paulina lost against Vincent Keimer. Vincent Keimer, one of the best juniors from Germany, and Baer lost against. Sorry,
Bear
Baer
won against.
beat Gukesh. Yes, Baer beat Gukesh. So that sums up the round one. And these are the pairings for the round two. So,
Gukesh is
you,
playing Zhu Jinner on the top board.
yes.
Oh, Zujinar, again, a very aggressive player, plays only main lines as far as I know. But, as you mentioned, a lot of things have changed in the pandemic. So we never know what's going to happen. Gukesh, I am expecting them to play a Sicilian classical because Zujinar, as far as I know, opens with e4. Gukesh loves to play the Sicilian classical as black. And I'm expecting them to go for the richer rouser.
Hey, sorry to interrupt, but the round two has begun, and Nihal
Oh,
has
wow.
started with knight f3.
That was fast. Almost no breaks, huh? Almost no breaks for the players.
No, there is breaks, but I think the Leon's next game might take some time.
Right.
But since these kids, they
Finished
finish their games
early, they
earlier.
started their
Yeah, yeah,
game.
yeah, yeah.
Right. So Nihal is playing Yip Carissa from USA. She's already an international master. She's hardly 14, 15 years old. I remember meeting her in the World Team Chess Championship 2019, where she was already a part of the women's team for USA at the age of 12 or 13. And she was so excited. She was a kid, like even a younger kid at that time. She was so excited, and she and another friend of hers who was around the same age as her, they used to be like chirping the whole time. It was very cute. And now she's already an international master. uh, good to see that.
Yeah, the opponent does not seem to be here yet, though.
Yeah,
So,
so I think the
uh,
games are yet to begin, perhaps.
yeah, but yeah, we have Nihal there waiting for his opponent, I guess.
She a little bit about Teresa Yip is that she was the youngest female chess player to defeat a grandmaster, at which she did at the age of 10, from USA, I guess. Youngest female player from USA to defeat a grandmaster.
Nice, nice, nice.
She's 17 years old now, and she became a woman grandmaster in 2019 and international master in 2020.
So, what can you tell us about the women players who are playing in this tournament? Because I
Yeah,
don't know about them as much as I know about the juniors. Has Prag's game
yeah.
begun, by the way?
uh, Prag.
Oh
Prag
yeah,
is
the
playing
Prag's game has
Kunai
begun. Yeah, yeah.
Mamatzada,
Oh yeah,
another
Prag's game has
female
begun,
player.
and it's already a bit on fire actually.
Yes. So Gunai is the strongest female player from in Azerbaijan. She is an international master already, and very aggressive. Me and Tanya were discussing about her on one of my streams a few days ago because she played in the European Chess Club in March, which was an open tournament, but she represented one of the open teams from Azerbaijan on the second board, and played a very wild game. We were covering this very wild game of hers against Wojtacek, where she sacrificed a piece and everything. So yeah, again a Sicilian, classical on the board. She played f3, f3, e5, knight b3, bishop e7, bishop e3, bishop e6, queen e2, a5. This is all theory. Long castle a4, knight c5, a3. Okay, so queen e2, a5. Uh, yeah, I'm. Hello, Shri. Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
yeah, I'm here, I'm
Yeah,
here, I'm
I
here.
just thought maybe you lost me. Actually, there is also a move like rook d1 here, but long castle makes sense. The idea to go queen e2 is that it doesn't allow d5 very easily, because
Mm-hmm.
um, after d5, ed5, knight d5.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
sorry, ed5, knight d5. There is a move like long castle, pinning the knight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why white plays queen e2 and not to d2. And after a5, white has long castled a4, knight c5, a3, b3. This is the position we have on the board.
Okay.
Um, this is actually not very easy to play as black, I would say, unless. But it's also logical, right? Like what black has done is quite logical as well. Like he has developed his bishop to e7, bishop e6. He did not waste a move with a6 like in knight of we have first played a6 and then we play a5, right? Sometimes if we
Yeah.
get a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. True. True. True.
here black gets to play a5 immediately. Um, on the other hand, he has pushed his pawn too far, and he must be careful not to just close the queen side because that's where his chances are. If white gets time, white will just play g4, g5, h4, h5, and start attacking on the king side.
Right. Yeah. I just got a bit busy trying to
With the
bring
OBS,
them.
we
Yeah. Yeah.
understand,
Yeah.
Shri, we understand. I'm wondering if queen a5 is possible here. It looks super tempting, and I think queen a5, the idea, there are two ideas. One is the knight on c5 is hanging now because the queen is not pinned the pawn is not pinned anymore. We remove the queen from the d file. And the second idea is that the knight on c3 is also hanging, and let's say queen a5, white takes on e6, then black can take queen into c3, uh, and this could be interesting. So I'm sure that's what Prag is thinking about. I'm sure that's what he's thinking about. Um, one way to face it would be come back, queen a5, knight c a4, knight 5 a4. But then the knight is sort of awkward on a4, but Prag simply short castled. Okay.
Yeah. This is the
Um,
present position, and now we can see Prag's expressions. So, if you want to guess something, you can make a guess by looking at what is.
no,
Yeah.
not very easy to guess anything at the moment, at least from either of their expressions.
Yeah, we had this funny game, yeah, when Anish, the level of seriousness based on how far he's down the screen.
Oh yes. And Nihal's game has also started against Eve Karisa.
Yeah,
He
so
has
there we have
played
Nihal,
knight
and
f3, g6, and e4. So Nihal quickly switched from the reti to the modern opening after playing e4 on the second move.
yeah, interesting. Ape plays. She really likes to play this King's Indian setups. So she kind
Okay,
of goes one g6 against all these different setups. Not against one e4 though. So Nihal, being the clever
tricked
kid
her.
he is, yeah, wanted to get this modern setup and went into this. So he has a good center. The knight to e7 is generally not the place that you prefer for the knight as black.
Mhm,
Usually, I prefer it to f6, but with this pawn structure, with the bishop on g7, the knight
mhm.
is probably better placed on e7 so that it doesn't get hit by any e5 related stuff.
Also, it's
So,
strange. It's interesting for me to see that she played sixth move a6, and then she after Nihal answered with c3. She did not go for b5 because certainly that was her idea to play b5 after
yes, but I think I
a6.
think she wanted to, she was wary of some a4 related
Mm-hmm,
stuff after b5.
mm-hmm.
So I think I'm guessing she preferred to delay
Changed
it.
her mind. She
Yeah.
changed her mind, right? But now the pawn on, I mean, the a6 move is a waste of time, right? Now it's she also played
I'm not
c6.
sure. I'm not sure because in the future, it's also not uncommon to play c6, a6, c6, and b5 in these Philidor structures, which is kind of what we have here. Yeah, she played e5. She eventually played e5. So
Right.
although a couple of moves, someone in the chat saying Gukesh is winning. Is it true? How can
Wow,
he be winning
already?
in?
Wow. Let's just check his game.
Yeah, this is the question, and he's not winning, guys. He's a pawn up, but no, he's not a pawn up. I did a Kevin there. The position is equal, but yeah, he certainly has fantastic initiative. How did this come about? The Karakan defense.
This is a crazy opening. What is this?
Yeah, and the short variation with knight f3 and bishop e2. And here, black undermines this pawn chain with f6, but after knight e1, white has threatened g4 to trap this bishop. So he starts with h5, bishop e3, and now f6. And here, she played a very brave move, which I wouldn't have played as white. She took bishop into h5. This is totally unexpected to me because after f into e5, black gets this furious compensation and counterplay on the h5. Would you have taken bishop into h5?
Actually, Zujiner is like a very direct player as well. So maybe she did not see anything wrong in terms of concrete lines, and that's the reason she went for it. It is certainly a brave move. The pawn on h2 looks very vulnerable suddenly because of the rook on h8. I mean, usually, when you want to play with the pawn down, like give pawn odds to someone, you remove the h pawn and then just claim that you're playing a pawn down, but actually you're like super happy to play that position. Um, this position definitely looks a little risky for white, but I'm just wondering if the e6 pawn is also very weak, and after bishop d4, queen e2 coming in, can white claim to put pressure on black herself,
Bishop e for queen e2, like when? I'm sorry, I missed.
like she played bishop d4 just now, and I was wondering after bishop
Huh.
d6, uh, black played knight d7, which is probably the right move to play, but let's say black had played bishop d6
Yes.
instead. White could have played queen e2 and tried to put pressure on black herself, because after queen c7 there is f4 coming in, and the knight on e5 is attacked, and once it moves, the pawn on e6 falls. So knight
Hmm.
e7 is, I think, the more accurate way to play, so that you can play e5 now if you get the chance.
Yeah. Totally agree. Yeah, knight d7 is more accurate. And now Gukesh is getting bishop d6 and queen h4 and a whole host of moves. The player who finishes first qualifies, guys. It's a 20-player round robin, so there's going to be 19 games, and the one who finishes first qualifies into the Meltwater Champions chess tour. We have four of our Indian kids playing: Nihal Sarin, Pragnananda, Gukesh, and Leon Mendonca, India's latest grandmaster and the biggest improver in the last 1 year. So Gukesh doing much better in this game. He's starting to warm up. This is the first day, the first few games. It's going to be a bit hither and thither. The second and third games, people will be warmed up. They will play much better. And the fourth day is going to be the most exciting of them all. So
Interesting that Leon is playing Shuvalova Polina. So that means all four of our junior players are playing women players today in the second round.
yes. And Nihal, I think, is playing four women players today.
Oh, wow. Okay. So he's it's going to be interesting to see his
So this is
results.
nice, yeah. This is Leon's position at the moment. This is the semi-terrace structure, and here Leon played h4, h6, and here he played d5, e into d5, and e5. This is a typical idea to open up White's attack on the king side, and to get his forces moving. Uh,
It's
so
funny
this
that
is
Leon is in Team Kramnik, and Tarash is preferred by Kramnik a lot while he was playing, especially in his last few years that he had been playing. He used to play a lot of Tarash as black, and now Leon is facing the Tarash himself as white.
yes, and Ganguly is also doing a course on the semi-terrace for chess. It
Oh, okay.
should be out sometime this year. I'm not
I
sure if
always
it.
feel that the Tarash is very hard to play as black. I mean, you need to really understand it really well in order to play as black. But once you, of course, understand it, then it's a little bit like the Karo Khan, I feel. Like if you don't understand it very well, then you can become passive very easily.
Yes, right. But yeah, I think I personally I find Karokan an easy opening to play as black in general.
Oh, I see. Because
Uh,
I played Karokan a lot for a few years in between, and initially I had good results because I had just learned the opening and I was very excited about it. You know, when you learn something new, you're very interested, invested,
Dopamine, yes,
excited
yes, yes.
about it.
I'm in the same phase with Valorant now.
And then once you feel that you know it, like once you get this feeling of you know being complacent about it, slowly your opponents start outplaying you, out preparing you, and you start to get into these passive positions because especially with Karokan, that's what happened to me because it is definitely a game of patience, which I
I'm
lack
not.
a
I
little
don't think
bit.
it's necessarily that way. I think it's really depends on the way you shape your repertoire, because in
Mhm.
each of these main systems, black has different options. Yeah, like one e4, c6, d4, d5, knight c3, d into e4, knight into e4. Here you
Right.
can play bishop f5 or knight f6 or knight d7,
Mhm.
and maybe bishop f5 is a big main line where you have to remember a lot of things.
Mhm.
But for example, if you play knight f6,
Mhm.
then you don't have as much to remember and the positions get really interesting.
Right. So perhaps it,
Same way against the advance, yeah, like after 3 e5 you can go c5 or bishop f5.
right. Yeah, I
So
feel perhaps one way to keep your interest in the opening and not get too complacent is to keep trying new things in the opening, even if you do understand it. Like just to keep trying new things that would um, help you maintain your freshness.
definitely, and we also do the same things in life all the time, like when we travel, we go for holidays. It's always a new thing to try and freshen things up. By the way, back to Nihal's game maybe.
It seems like, by the way, it seems like Shuvalova is a huge advantage against Leon. Um I
Oh
mean, she
yeah,
seems
yeah,
to
yeah,
be
yeah.
handling the position really well. She has brought the rook to e7, and I like the maneuver with rook c8, rook c7, then rook e7. She kept the queen where she was. She didn't move it because she didn't have good squares to move the queen to. And she probably wanted to keep the d5 pawn supported, and she felt the queen was best placed on d8. So instead of going something like queen c7, rook e7, and okay, anyway, white forced her to play rook c7 as well. But I really like this maneuver.
Yeah, I think d4 is about to come in now, and after bishop into f3, the e5 pawn is kind of weak. So this looks bad for Leon at the moment. Bishop b1 is the last move, and Leon is also short of time. Let's see how Leon handles this.
And Prag's game, too many things have happened. He did not play queen a5 in that position, where we left the game. He played a short castle, and white moved the a5 knight to a4. So probably for queen a5 as well, she would have done the same. I think it was the only move. But the knight on a4 is now it goes to b6. Now it goes to b6 and d5. That's the point. I see. So after
Yes,
bishop
yes,
d7,
yes.
queen d2. That's why black does not want to allow white to play knight b6 very easily. So
So he sacrificed a pawn for this reason, yeah.
yeah, so he played knight d4, bishop d4,
But
ed4.
eventually it comes anyway. So he took bishop into a4, knight into a4, queen a5. But after knight b6, rook d8, it came anyway. So this is
Yeah,
the
but
present
now
position
there is
that we
only
have.
one knight on the board. I think that's the difference. If there were two knights on the board, then you could have put one of your knights on d5 eventually. And
True,
maybe that's what
true.
black did not like. Even if black plays bishop e6, for example, imagine white did have a bishop and black did have his bishop alive, and white's knight was still on c3. Um, then white could have played either f4 or bishop c4 and kick the bishop away. So maybe to
Hmm,
avoid that
hmm, hmm,
stuff.
hmm.
Actually, black
Yeah.
is fine, no, because now if he manages to get the bishop on this a1 h8 diagonal, the e7 bishop is looking like a
Yeah,
big
I
pawn
completely
right
agree.
now.
I completely agree. The position is very complex. The engine shows a huge spike for white, but
Mhm.
practically, it's not at all easy. And
Uh-huh.
after knight c4, you see a huge drop. Yeah, it was such a normal move, such a
Yeah.
natural move. But the problem is it loses control of d5,
Mhm.
and Mamadzada was really focused at that point. Her eyebrows going near the below her name. That's our threshold for how focused the players are. Uh, but still not managing to find the optimal move. It's not at all easy, guys. Without computer, it's a whole different game. And here I think black is doing quite decent.
Yeah, definitely. And well, one of the ideas is after you move the queen, you can yourself play b5. And another idea is to first kick the knight away with b5, then put your knight to d7 and your bishop to f6. I think I like that idea more.
Yeah,
But then
true.
white move puts her knight to e5, so that when you move knight d7, I get knight d5 in. So it's actually not so
E3,
easy.
yeah.
Yeah,
White plays
e3.
knight E3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Knight. So she played queen B6. Queen B6 on the board. And here it's not totally clear. Yeah. So you go queen C8 or queen B8. Prague wants to keep his queen for sure. So I think queen C8 because you want to keep the option of queen C3. So queen C8 played instantly. And now he's getting D5 in. And if white plays knight E3, there is queen C3 coming in. So I think Prague
But
is
queen,
doing a pretty
but,
decent
but
job here.
queen c3, queen d4, right? So I think that's what white will go for anyway. Knight e3, queen c3, queen d4.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, Queen D4 coming in. Yeah, yeah, but I think knowing Prague, he will probably play something like D5 here and start
Mm-hmm.
plunging the game into chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And see, I'll show you a nice sample variation. Okay, I just
Mm-hmm.
saw this
Mm-hmm.
immediately. So White takes the pawn, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
natural. Okay, and then Black plays Bishop G5 check here. King has to move. Queen C3, Queen D4, and here it's Black to play and win.
I love it. I love it. Let's make the chat. Let's ask the chat guess what black would play here. Beautiful
Yeah, Black to
variation.
play and win. It just flashed through my mind. Of course, I'm making things a bit convenient to allow this to happen.
No,
But
but it's very easy to miss this while playing
yes,
knight
yes,
d5.
yes. Rook into d5. Devansh, he's so rook into d5 on the board. Sorry, not on the board. Yeah, rook into d5. I put it on the board, and
Yeah.
this wins because if queen into d5, there's queen b2 checkmate, and if white takes queen into c3, then after rook into d1, it's a back rank mate. So Mamadzada, she played queen b4, but she's down to less than a minute, and these kind of situations, I really feel that Prague is going to take this home. So if I had to guess. Uh, if I had to make a prediction, then I'm predicting that Prague is going to win this one.
Oh, why
And
did you play queen c7? Why not rook e8? I thought black would play rook e8 with the idea to play d5 actually.
Queen c7 also has the same idea, yes, but
But now
you
I
don't
just
want to
look
allow
to
queen
move with
b6,
queen
yeah?
b6. Ah, she
Maybe
played
maybe
queen
it's just
a5.
repeating a move.
Mm-hmm. Ah, she played queen a5 so that after queen c8, she can take on a3. That is her point.
Yes, but as black, I don't mind you taking on a3. I want to get d5 anyway. I just want to empower my pieces. And the white knight going to a3 also, it feels good to me as black
Not with the
because
knight, Shri. I will take it with the queen so that the e7 bishop also.
okay, but then I get b5 and queen c3, yeah?
Hmm, that's the point. Okay.
So he goes queen c6. Nihal is winning, by the way. He's completely winning, but we'll get to that bit later.
I'm
Uh,
expecting queen b6 here actually. But black anyway plays d5 for queen b6.
Queen b6. What does Prague have in mind against Queen b6?
I think d5 anyway, right?
No, I don't want to exchange the queen. Honestly speaking,
She
as
did play
blacks,
queen
yeah, she
b6. She
played
did
Queen
play queen
b6. No,
b6.
Prague will just come back. Yeah. So we have had this question. I think
It's
Queen
now
b4.
it,
Now he might play Rook e8
yeah, rook e8 makes a lot of sense
or
with the
Queen
idea to
e6. Yeah,
play
Queen e6. Yes,
d5.
yes, yes. I just anything that defends e7.
Right.
And rook e8 also, yeah. So queen b6 now. It's also not easy for Prag. His activity is not flowing.
Knight d7 with bishop f6 coming in.
Yes, knight d7
But
on the
maybe
board.
white just picks up all the pawns, huh? Queen
No, I'd be happy to
b7,
do
for
that.
example.
It's very hard to do this with 6 seconds remaining. So
That's true.
queen e3, b5 or d5, just knight c5. Okay, no worries, no worries.
Oh,
Keep going, Prag. Knight into
I was
a3. Now
expecting
d5.
queen
Now
f.
d5. Yes, now d5. The knight on a3 offside, and now black's pieces are empowered. Will he
Maybe
just take
bishop.
knight into e4 here and pick up bishop into a3? That's one
Uh,
option.
yeah, I think white has to
Yes,
play
he
bishop
took knight into
e2.
e4. Now white need not allow this. He can play knight. She can play knight b5, but she takes f into e4, bishop into a3, and now it can be tricky to defend on these
Wow,
squares.
I'm surprised she played bishop b5. I was expecting bishop d3.
I think
Just
she's starting to panic a bit. She
yeah,
started, giving up all these pawns.
yeah,
She's going towards safety first, but at the cost of protecting her king, she has lost too many pawns. Now bishop c5, just b5 first, maybe even b5 b4, maybe even b4 here because white cannot play rook c1 and defend the c3 pawn. So I
yeah.
think Prag is taking over here. Bishop c5 also valid. Queen g3. Um, I I think it was maybe more accurate to play b4 first, but yeah, now he keeps the queen on. And even in the endgame, even with the rooks off, with the queen and the bishop combined, this opposite color bishop is very dangerous for white. With a few seconds remaining, it's actually white's position, which is a lot
Okay,
harder
now
to
queen
play.
e5. Now queen e5. Yes.
Yes, queen e5.
Queen e5, bishop c4 is
No, then I take first and
possible,
then play
right?
queen in. Oh, you want to give me? No, I have
No,
bishop
there is
f8.
no checkmate.
Yeah,
Yeah, because of bishop f8. So he does go for it. He does go for it.
yeah, queen
Um,
e5, king c2.
yeah, I think c2 is
And
more
just bishop
logical.
e7 with the idea of bishop f6. If rook d3, then e2 will come.
But then rook e3, no? E2, and then e1 queen. Sorry. Yes,
Yeah,
this is
yes,
the
yes.
point.
So b5 is attacked now, and he's preparing bishop f6. Mamadzada has to find the
Maybe rook
correct move with
d5, yeah?
3 seconds. Two,
Maybe rook
one.
d5.
Play, 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 play.
Rook
Ooh,
d5.
that was
Yeah, rook
close.
d5
That
was
was
a
so
good,
close.
that was
Queen
very close.
e6,
Bishop
bishop d7.
c4.
Oh, bishop d3. Good move, good move. She's putting
Yeah,
all her pieces on the light
yeah.
squares. She's keeping them safe. Her king is relatively safer now. And because of how well her pieces control, I
She
think
can play
queen
queen
f5 and
h3
she's
here.
safe.
She can play queen
She,
h3 as well. Oh, she
oh,
played.
queen h3 also, yes. c4, rook e8, and now
Now she
queen
needs
f5
to
is no
be
longer an
careful.
option. e2 is a threat. Yeah, I think she just made that little slip. She should have just taken her chance and exchanged the queen, and I think
Yeah,
she would have been completely safe.
yeah.
But rook e8, bishop e2, h6, and now queen f5, but it's
Now
no
queen
longer
a6.
forced.
Now queen a6 coming in, right? Oh,
Yeah,
queen
queen
to
a6,
b6.
queen b6. He's putting it on the dark squares. So next, queen a7 was a threat. So he played queen d7. She played queen d7. Rook f8, just waiting for a move.
Maybe rook b5 now.
Queen b4
Rook
is a threat now.
rook b5 allows queen a6. So
Yes,
maybe
this
queen
is very,
b5.
yeah, c5, queen b4, and it's over, I think. Queen is
Uh,
entering in. Queen b4.
I think queen
Queen
b4 was
a5.
sort
Yes,
of
queen a5 is
forced.
even stronger. Yes, yes, yes. It's mate now. It's mate.
Oh, it's mate. It's mate.
King b1, queen b2. King d1 is
King
forced.
d1 is forced.
And queen a1, queen b2, and queen b1 is mate.
So king
King
d3
d3,
will be
queen
played.
d2
Queen
check.
d2 and just pick up the piece on e2. Yeah.
Yes. So that was,
Good game by Prague. Good
yes,
game by
excellent
Prague.
game by Prag. Well fought by Mamadzada as well.
Yes.
But in the time scramble, Prag just managed to be faster. And I think that queen f5 moment was really important.
Crucial, definitely. And I think even like the c5 was a huge blunder. I think queen b5 would have saved the day for her, no? Like just not allowing this queen b4 stuff
When
instead of
exactly?
queen d7, rook f8, and
By the
she
way,
played
again, sorry to
c5.
interrupt, but a quick recap of the other results. Nihal
Yeah.
has managed to win against Carissa, and Gukesh managed to win against how? Ah, yeah, Gukesh is black. Yeah, yeah. So he won very comfortably against uh, Zhu China, and One more game going on of Mendonca.
Leon playing against Shuvalova Polina. And what is happening? Both of them have some time. They both have some time.
Yes.
Managing their time well. The knight on g5 defends the h7 square. So it's really well placed. You can't kick it out with f4 because of the rook on c4. Right now, the bishop on b7 is not very happy because it's completely blocked by its own pawn. On the other hand, white's pieces are better because knight on f5, bishop on b1. Both are looking towards black's king. King h2, I think, is a
It
interesting
protects
move.
against rook c1. Yeah.
Yeah, protects rook c1 and rook c3. Wow,
Yeah,
rook
so she plays
c3.
rook c3. So if you go queen d2, then black has some rook into f3, right?
Oh, wow,
And
that was a
so he
nice
goes
tactic.
queen b5 with the idea of queen
Bishop
e8 check.
c6, probably. Bishop
Yeah,
c6
bishop
allows queen
c6.
b4, is it? And then knight e7 coming in.
No,
Now
but I
queen
think that's not
b4.
such a terrible thing, no? Just go bishop d7, knight e7 check, play king h8. Then you have knight g6 check and you're mating, yeah? Nice. Nice,
This
nice,
is,
nice, nice,
yeah, this
nice.
is good. Oh, knight e7 coming in now. Knight e7 check.
Knight e7,
Knight
knight
e7
d6,
is
queen f8.
over. Yes. Oh,
Oh, no, 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 he hasn't
oh
found
no, he
it.
missed it. He missed it.
That's a pity. That's a pity. But it's still okay. It's still okay. It's the queen d6 a very strong strategic move because knight e7 check still there. But if black takes queen into d6, then you get a very strong passed pawn on the d file.
So king
And she
f8
has
now.
taken because she had to do it. And
Yeah.
now knight e6 preventing rook e7, an important move. And fortunately for her, after knight e7 check, king f8, knight into c6, rook into c6, d7, rook d6, black saves the d8 d pawn from queening. So he goes bishop f5.
So now
But I think
maybe
black
king
just goes bishop
e8.
d7 now.
Or even king e8. King e8 is bad for black, is it?
No, but
Ah,
why do you
she
want to
did
give
play
up this
bishop
pawn?
d7. No, I wanted to save the d5 pawn so that I could also have a passer. But then now
Ha,
rook
okay,
d4,
okay.
yeah?
Yeah, rook h4 check and rook into h5.
Hmm.
So this
Or
bishop
maybe
on
rook
d7 is solid.
d4, yeah? Rook d4 allows rook e5, is it?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah, true, true, true. I understand you want to take the dangerous d6 pawn. Now just f into e6, I think. Because bishop into e6, maybe bishop into e6 is also possible because after rook into e6, f into e6, d7, black can just take rook into d5.
right.
But she took f into e6, safer move.
Uh,
Understandably so. Knight f4,
and now
rook
king
g5.
f7 coming in. Or maybe e5 coming in. E5 is
I
a
think
move.
first king f7, yeah, because e5, knight d3, you lose that pawn.
Hmm.
King
Oh, and now
f7, king
king
f6,
f6.
yeah.
But then f4 and knight e5
f4, rook
anyway.
d5.
Oh, and after
Knight
knight
e5, rook
e5, you
d6.
support it with rook d6, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So king f6 and then rook d5 and rook
So
into
actually, the
d6
d6
incoming.
pawn is going to be lost after rook d5.
Yeah, but he has a defense, knight
Knight
f2. He can play knight
f2,
f2. So rook
right?
into d6, there is knight e4 check.
I think he'll find it. He'll
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
he will
find it.
definitely find it because where else can the knight go?
Exactly.
It's like, yeah, knight f2, knight e4 coming in next.
So this
And
is not easy. This is not easy for black.
yeah, this is not easy. Absolutely, this is not easy for black. So knight f2 on the board
King
and
f7 maybe. King f7 maybe. Um,
king
with the
f7
idea to
feels bad. I think yeah. I wouldn't want the king to give a check, give a tempo. So a5 now, and then knight e4 check. Yeah, a5 played knight e4 check, king g6. So I
right.
think this saves a tempo for black. Rook
But now the
e7,
e6 pawn is hanging.
e5 now.
Oh
Ah no, there's knight
wow.
c3. Knight c3, rook d. Yeah,
Oh, knight
yeah, yeah.
c3.
d7. This allows d7. No,
Yeah,
b2,
d7.
knight c5.
D7 is strong. D7, B4 maybe.
Yeah, yeah, d7, b4, knight
B4,
c5. That's
knight
what I had
C5.
in
Right,
mind. Yeah.
right, right, right. That
But
was
he plays rook
possible. But now
b6.
I think black's king, after king f7, black is okay, I think.
Yeah, the king is coming. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So now knight c3, rook d4, and the king is much closer to the pawn, and it can
Yeah.
defend it. He can even take after knight a4, he can take rook into a4 as well.
So now it's
and take
going
the
towards a
a2
draw,
pawn.
yeah? It's
Yeah,
like a
so
draw
knight
for knight into
b5.
b5. It's like, okay, fine. We had a good game. I want to get off the mark. I have had a bad first game. So I'll take this draw and then I'll try to get others in the next few games. But not yet because,
Rook
why
a6,
not?
I guess. Rook a6, a4. Okay, king f6.
Yeah, this is a draw. It's 3 versus 3, but white has a very, very slight, very, 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 very slight upper hand in
Maybe
the sense
a4
that,
was better than rook a6 actually. Just keeping the rook more active. But okay. But this is still a draw anyway.
yeah, you're right. You're right. A4 was better. Yes. You're absolutely right.
Now black must be careful not to allow king to g4. So he has to play king to h5 whenever white plays king h3, so that king to g4 otherwise can be like completely lost.
True.
But king h5 allows f4. So how is black defending? f4 now.
Yes. F4. Yes. She has missed this. I'm sure she has missed this.
Oh my
She's
god.
gotten under pressure,
Yeah.
and she's starting to
So
get
Leon is
intimidated.
winning. Oh,
What? Why
okay.
not? Why not, Leon? Why
But
not?
he can play it on the next move as well. But
Yes, but now
no.
black just gives up the a5 pawn and goes into this
But how
equal
about
position.
f4 now? How about
F4, rook
f4
c3
now?
check.
King h2.
Then I was thinking, yeah, you're right. You're right. F4 now. Yeah. Rook c3 check, king h2, and
King
now
g4 and f into g5.
yeah, f into g5, and now black goes king h5, and
Rook
she can
into
hold this
a5.
position. Yeah, rook into a5, and
But rook into a5, rook a3. Is that still a draw?
I think
That's
yes, it's
probably
still a
still a
draw.
draw. Yeah,
Looking at the evaluation bar,
that's probably still a draw. Yeah.
yeah. Meanwhile, in the live position, Leon took rook into g5 check, king into
So
f4,
he
rook into
wants to
a5,
play with an
rook
extra
a3,
passer
rook
on the
a. No,
a5.
but this is just a draw, yeah. Even without the h4 pawn, it's probably a
Yeah.
draw.
So the
I
king
mean,
will
in
go
the
to
yeah,
g7, and the he'll just keep playing king h7 and king g7, not to allow this tactic of when the pawn is on a7, and if the king is on f7, then white has this tactic of going rook h8, so that after rook into a7, white can give rook h7 check, king moves and pick up the rook on a7. So this is the tactic black needs to avoid, and that's why she went back to king g7, and whenever she wants to wait, she can wait with king h7.
yep. The rook stays on a3, preventing the white king from advancing onto the third rank and
Right.
all the other pieces.
Right. And Leon, being very smart, he does not push the pawn to a7 because he decides to bring his king. But this is still a draw because after rook a2, the king cannot come to e1 anymore because rook into g2 is hanging. So he has to push the pawn to a7. And now, whenever white's king goes to defend the support the a7 pawn so as to free his rook from a8, black will simply give him checks on the file. So basically, black will keep her rook on a2 or a1, so that whenever white's king reaches king b6, you can give white check rook b2 or rook b1, a2 or rook a1 check, and that's still a draw.
Right. Yes. So when the king comes near, you just start checking from behind. So this is probably going to be a draw. So how does that sum up the results? I think we had 3 wins and 1 draw, yeah. So India won 3.5 in the second round after losing half 3.5 in the first round. And Nihal has 1.5 out of 2. Prag has 1. Gukesh has 1. And Leon will have half point after this game. This is how they stand after the first 2 rounds.
And
In
Nihal is playing against Pragananda in the next round.
Yes. It's going to be Nihal against Prag.
Wow,
That's going to
epic
be
clash. Clash
fun,
of the
yeah.
Titans. Fun
Yes, definitely.
game to watch. And Leon is still fighting. Leon is still fighting. Um,
Of course, he has to, yeah.
so now King G7, not to give up the H4 pawn for no reason.
Not much expected to happen here at this point. So I'm just
Right.
being a lazy commentator and
So actually, I'm checking Niha's game against Yip Carissa, and he checkmated black. And I was just curious to see how did he do it, and it's a really clean game.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a
we can
really
check that
clean
out.
game. Yeah, he basically, um, I think it's a model game, you could say, because he took all the right breaks.
So you feel free to take us through the game.
So we were watching the game until, let's say, black played c6, and we were discussing about how it's a Philidor position and black wants to play b5 at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Then white played knight g3, h6, h3, queen c7, uh, and white decided to play a4 here, just to keep some control of the queen side. Rook d8. Black's problem is that her pieces are on the second and the last rank. None of her pieces are even on the third rank. Extremely passive position, and the black definitely needs to break at some point. She needs to play b5 at some point, and white is just preparing for that. So white plays queen e2. Now b5 is has not been possible for a while after a4, because b5, a into b5, c into b5, bishop b5. The rook on a8 is hanging after a into b5. So black played b6 with the idea to play b7, bishop to b7, and then b5, bishop e3, bishop b7. Now white broke up in the center with d into e5, d into e5, and b4, controlling more space.
Yeah, I think this is a very instructive break. I think it requires a significant amount of strategic expertise to understand when you do these kind of breaks optimally,
Mhm.
and when you expand on the queen side or play on the king side. It can be difficult for a lot of people to grasp this. There are not a lot of general rules here. I would say. I would say that this also, like everything else, it comes with a lot of practice. So if you see a lot of examples, a lot of similar stuff relating to this, then you start sensing these things better.
Right, Shri, but I'm surprised she played b5 here instead of c5. I would have been tempted to play c5 as black, so as to open my bishop on b7, and also, at some point play rook c8 and c4 maybe.
Yeah, makes
Gain more
sense.
space.
Makes
But
sense, makes
she
sense.
decided to go for b5 break, and
No, I think
here,
b5, maybe she was anticipating a5 and now she wanted to
hmm,
play c5.
I see. Yes,
I
that
think
must
so.
have been her point, right?
But Nihal just played c4.
That this is the
Very
main
strong move.
strategical idea of the Philidor, when you get to play a4 as well as c4, attacking the b5 point. So basically, you don't take ab, but instead attack it one more time with c4 and force black to take.
Yes, and now if you see the pawn structure is broken, and this bishop on c4 is really strong. It's a bit like this Breyer. Reminds me of this Nihal's game against Shafarli, which was also similar with a deadly c4 break. By the way, just to let you know, we are about a minute away from kickoff of the epic Prague Nihal game, the most anticipated clash of day one of the Julius Baer Challenges Chess Tour.
Wow. So let's quickly go through this game. After b into c4, bishop c4. Now white's pawn structure is much better. His pieces are very well placed as well. So black still wants to gain some space at least. So she plays a5, b into a5, queen a5. And another good move by Nihal, queen to a2. Beautiful move attacking the f7 point. Rook to f8 is forced now. And after rook into rook e d1, he now controls the d file as well. He's attacking the d7 knight, and after rook d8, he brings in his rook into opponent's camp with rook d6. But
No, no,
first
not yet,
bishop
not yet,
d2.
not yet. Yes.
Yeah, first bishop d2. Uh, just to gain more space on the queen side. Queen a8, a5, bishop a6, bishop e3, c5, and now rook d6. Very instructive game, very instructive game. And now, if you see, the f7 pawn is pinned. So he's even threatening rook g6 at some point in case the black knight moves from e7. And he's also threatening rook a d1, pinning the knight on d7. So black took bishop into c4 as the bishop was hanging, queen into c4, knight c6, and rook into g6.
Nice. This was nice.
Yeah, this is very cool. I mean, black's position was super cramped, and I think Nihal took advantage of it in a wonderful manner. After
Yeah.
knight a5, he still keeps going for it. He could play queen a2 here, by the way, but he still keeps going for it. He plays rook to g7, king into g7, queen c3, attacking the knight on a5, and now winning it actually because it's pinned. So he wins two pieces for a rook, and with the opponent's king very weak as well. Rook f8,
We
rook
have
a5.
kickoff of the Prague Nihal game, by the way. I'm sorry to interrupt.
So let's move on to that, because after rook into a5, white was completely winning and he converted the position really well.
Yes. So yeah, after rook into a5, yes, was just winning and converted it. So Prague has started with d4, and we have both of them on screen. So Prague with the team Kramnik backdrop, and Nihal with the team Polgar backdrop, and we have one of these classical Queen's Gambit decline positions after the fourth move. The game can go into any of the crossroads here. Bishop b4 goes into Ragozin, and Bishop e7 goes into the Queen's Gambit decline main lines. c6 goes into Semislav, c5 into Semitarash, and d into c4 goes into the Vienna system here.
Mhm.
So black has at least 5 of these main moves. Knight b d7 is also a move here, which goes into a type of Queen's Gambit declined. And what else? What else have I left out here?
a6 is also a move,
Yeah,
right?
a6 is also a move. Yes, yes, yes.
Even h6 has been played actually, preventing
Yeah.
bishop g5. I
So he
mean,
goes
of
knight
late,
b
everything
d7,
has been played, but
and now bishop f4. I don't think this is a surprise for Prague.
Mhm,
Nihal has played knight b d7 a few times. Bishop f4, d into
mhm.
c4, and e3. All these moves.
Do they have a head score that you know of? I mean, I'm sure they have
They
one,
do,
but do
they
you
do,
know
they
it?
do. As far as I remember, I think Nihal has a slight plus,
I
but
see.
that's because Nihal is 1 year older, and these
Mhm.
things make a huge difference in these kids' life. 1 year, once again, it's a significant amount of time in their lives.
True. And after knight d5 a3, now knight into c3 is possible, but white will play queen d2, I believe. He will not take on c3, right? He will play queen
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
d2.
yeah, yeah.
But doesn't queen d2 allow queen? Yeah, queen d2. And for a second, I thought black could play queen a5, forgetting that there is a pawn on c7. So that's the reason these tactics work. Otherwise, knight into c3, bc3, and bishop into c3 would have won black in exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So a3, and black is thinking. Um, so so I think black will not put his bishop on a5, right? Or is that also an option?
Um, I,
Because
it
what is
might be
it
an
doing on
option.
a5? I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah, yeah, exactly. On a5, no, I think knight into c3, queen d2, knight d5, a into b4, knight into f4, a into f4. It goes like this.
oh, he has taken bishop into a3. He takes a pawn. Okay.
And now bishop d6. This is also a line. Yeah, this is also one of the variations. Bishop d6, and then here white takes and plays bishop into c4. I think white can also play bishop into c4 directly here.
Oh, really? I
So
was I was wondering if after bishop d6, white can play bishop g5, provoking f6.
true, true, true. Bishop g5 is also possible. A logical
Okay,
move, but maybe knight f6 here,
right.
with the idea of taking control of the e4 square. So bishop d6 takes bishop into c4. We have this on the board, short castle. These positions are slightly more pleasant for white. It's equal. It's pretty close to equal, but slightly more pleasant for white. But I'm not really entirely sure if it's quite in the fort of Prague, because
Mhm.
Prague, he prefers he excels in wild positions requiring a lot of requiring calculation and this kind of a dynamic play.
So would you say dynamic play is Prag's main strength?
Yes, dynamic play, and he has some amazing imagination and calculation ability. So if you give him a question where he has to solve it just by calculation, he will find the details in the question. But if I had to name one guy who excels in these type of conversion of equal looking questions, then it
Mhm.
is Arvind Chidambaram. I think
Oh,
Arvind is like remarkably good in converting a lot of these questions. So
Arvind,
Arvind,
again, a very, very creative player, right? I mean, he is very famous for having beaten Shirov with one B3, by the way. He played one B3 against Alexei Shirov back in 2014, I think, and he made his Grandmaster norm after beating him. So he basically needed a Grandmaster norm.
that's an
He
endorsement for the player,
at
not for the
that time.
opening. Just to clarify.
But the opening also is going to come out soon. Just today I saw Adiban's Instagram saying that he's going to put it out before the candidates. We don't know which one. It could be this one, but we never know. But he's
Yeah.
definitely going to put it out before the one of the candidates. So and it's going to be out on Chessable, guys. So look out for that, and do I'm sure he must have included Arvind's game as well in his course.
Yeah.
So,
So A5 played. AD just left the chat, is it? He was in the chat, is it? We ignored him, it seems.
oh, really?
Yeah, yeah, I did it for a reason. I really wanted him to, continue his work. Didn't want him to take too much of a break. So,
Oh, yes,
uh,
he
taking
was
in
in
account
the
his welfare, I purposely ignored him.
okay, but he's always in spirit over here with us, so that's okay. Thank you, AD, for joining. Like completely missed the chat somehow, but thank you so much for joining,
It's
AD.
okay, it's okay, Soumya. You didn't miss anything important or significant. So yeah, interesting question on the board. 6 pawns versus 6 pawns. Five of them symmetrical on the same file. One outlying pawn on a5 and white's pawn on c4. So how do you explain the difference? Who does it favor? And uh,
Actually, I think a5 is a very significant move because if black doesn't play a5, let's say white had just played c4 and black had just played some random move like h6, for example. White could have played rook a5 and brought his other rook to a1. So with c4, he not only controls the d5 square and gains more space for himself, but he also opens the queen's diagonal, and now she's controlling the a5 square. So he was actually threatening rook a5, and that's the reason a5 is a very important positional move, I would say.
yeah, a5, rook f7, and h6 played. Prag with a
Yes.
3-minute advantage over Nihal. I think Prag has managed to out-prepare Nihal in this game, and he's more in preparation. Probably he has also, done some study of how to continue on from here. So right now, I think Prag with just a little bit more of the initiative, Nihal a bit on the defensive side. But now Prague into thoughts, not quite deep into thoughts, Prague well above his name. In the emotional meter of Chess 24 India, that still means he's quite cool and calm. Nihal yawning, he's suppressing a yawn with both his hands because one hand might be too small. So he plays Queen C3, and now the one move that I'm tempted to play as black is knight f6, knight e4. The e4 square just invites my knights and looms in front of me. But that might leave some of the queen side areas open. So rook f c8 is also another valid and legit move that I would consider as black. But as black, the biggest danger is the a5 pawn being too weak. Yeah, that's the
Right.
one thing you have to try and defend against
Right.
constantly.
I'm wondering what was the point of queen c3 actually, because I would have expected something like rook a3 and rook a1, but I think the point was after knight b6, black was threatening knight b6 and a4 maybe. So that the point is after knight b6, rook a5, and when the queen is on d2, No, but the queen on c7 was hanging, so this stuff doesn't work. I was thinking maybe knight b6, rook a5, knight c4 works, but then
Yeah, no,
white
I think
simply
Queen
takes on
C3 is
a8.
a general positional move. It takes
So
control
he
of.
wants to come to a3, is it? Like, I'm just wondering what is the idea, or maybe knight
I
to
don't think he
d2.
wants to come to A3. I think his plan. One thing is this allows some knight D2, knight B3, so it vacates the D2 square for the knight.
Yeah.
Secondly, it controls the C5 square, which is important because while white goes against the A5 pawn, black will try and build pressure against the C4 pawn, for which knight B6 is an useful move. So if black does that, then white might want to be in a position to play C5 himself. So Queen C3 also helps towards that. It's just one of these moves you make which has a lot of useful applications. So knight d2 is I think a very relevant one here.
So
So knight,
multi-purpose move as
yeah, taking control of the e4 square.
mm,
And again, yeah, I think Nihal is in probably is in some pressure here. Rook a7 and rook f8 is one option. Rook f c8 directly is another option. And apart from these two moves, uh, what else can black do here? I'm not too sure about this rook a7, rook a8 stuff, but it makes sense at some level, yeah, because that is the main point. Yeah, rook f8 played one of the
yeah, rook
other
f8.
moves.
I was actually expecting knight f6, knight d2, knight e4 to be played, to be very honest. But maybe like, I'm not sure why it was rejected. Maybe the
No,
a5
because
pawn becomes very weak then.
yeah,
No.
yeah, yeah. It the black knight. I feel it serves a slightly more useful role compared to the white knight
Mm-hmm.
because it might be useful in the protection of the a pawn.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas the white knight, it's not actively participating in something like this at the moment. Yeah. So
But he
I
did
think
play knight d2 now. So one idea could be to play e4 as well. Mhm.
e4, I'm not sure. Yeah, because that allows e5.
Mm, is that an issue? He anyway played e5.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. Because you're putting one more pawn on the light square,
Right.
and if black gets this position with the knight on c5, that's
Mm-hmm.
strategically nice for black.
Mm-hmm.
So he wants to keep this knight on the board and he wants to play on this dark squares. But the time gap has increased even further. Prague with almost 5 minute lead. It's
Nihal comes under time pressure a lot, right? But I mean, he's very good with time handling positions in less time, but he also comes under time pressure very
both
often,
these
right?
kids do.
Both Prague as well. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a very annoying thing for their coaches and team captains and stuff. But what to
No,
do?
but I don't like. Do you get nervous when Nihal is under time pressure? Like, I
I
wouldn't,
do.
to be very honest. Really,
Yeah,
because he
yeah,
handles it
incredibly
so
nervous.
well. You still feel a little bit of pressure, is it, as a coach?
Definitely, because I think
Okay.
I think it can be handled better.
Okay.
Yeah, there was this second round in the online Olympiad where Nihal was playing against the Vietnam's junior Gyun Han
Mm-hmm.
Koi.
Mm-hmm.
He was completely lost and had very little time. Managed to trick his opponent and win the game, but that was pretty tense moment. India was losing
Oh,
that
I
match
remember
like
this.
4-2.
I remember this game. Yes. 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 Was it like some sort of Queen A5 stuff that came up? He was black, and then
Yeah,
there was
yeah,
some
yeah,
sort of
yeah,
Queen
yeah,
A5
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. And
Yes.
Prague has his own share of these kind of things. He also goes very less on time. And
What do you think is the reason why a lot of, okay, I am also one of them, but just generally I'm asking, like, what do you think is the reason that some players constantly come under time pressure?
they calculate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They see a lot of moves. They calculate a lot, and in general, I think they are also not that comfortable in taking a decision, so they try to procrastinate it. I think some of them do this. So for this reason, they keep checking,
Mm-hmm.
and they spend a lot of time. But in the case of these kids, it's simply that they don't know a lot of things about chess. So that is
Right.
the difference between them and the elite players who are playing in the Meltwater Champion Chess Tour. The people about 2750. So these kids, they don't know a lot of things, so they need to figure out, especially in openings, the opening middle game part.
Right.
Uh, so they have to spend a lot of time trying to, figure out stuff afresh from the opening. And
Right.
I think this is one of the major reasons why a lot of kids get into time trouble. I remember when I was playing World Juniors, Wei and Duda, they also used to get in enormous time trouble.
Hmm.
And when they grow up, when they become stronger in openings, and when they know a lot more about chess in general, they automatically start playing much faster. So I think that's part of the process of growing up. It's a normal thing. I think you wouldn't want to worry too much, and start making conclusions about the tendencies of kids when they are in the process of growing up. A
Right.
lot of things change automatically.
Right.
So now bishop into d7 and rook into a5 is a threat, and I think Nihal might be forced to play a4. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I liked bishop g4 very much, and it's very logical as well. Just controlling so many squares on the king side. And after ed4, I'm a little worried for black because I'm just wondering if white can even play bishop f5, queen g3, this kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's absolutely normal to get worried for black because black
Hmm.
is under pressure.
Hmm.
Black is under proper pressure. One thing is,
Right.
I'm not sure if bishop into d7 is a threat because after queen into d7, rook into a5, rook into a5, queen into a5, black can respond with queen g4, attacking both d4 and g2. So let's say
Hmm.
I make a random move for illustration purpose. Takes,
Hmm.
takes, rook into a5, rook into a5, queen into a5, and now queen g4. Both d4 and g2 are attacked, and white has no good defense. White can play d5, yeah? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So this is a problem. So in this case, maybe Nihal is forced to play a4, and bishop into d7 is a threat. So this is probably what Nihal is thinking about, but he's down to less than a minute. He's down to his usual zone, yeah. And he does play rook e8. Okay, interesting. Uh,
Yeah,
so he
because
has definitely seen something more than. Oh, okay, okay. No, yeah, you're saying something, Soumya.
no, I'm also actually trying to figure that line out. Like, let's say after bishop d7, queen d7, you take rook a5, rook a5, queen a5. I think I can insert rook e2 first, right? I don't even need to play queen g4 immediately. I can play rook e2
But what if I
first.
just play d5 and shut your bishop off? How would you get compensation?
And queen f5 stuff doesn't work. Queen
I
b6, and you queen b6, you can play
no,
queen b6, but then I
yeah,
play bishop d5
no,
and
no.
take
Just you
on
can
d2.
take this, no, because queen into b7, there's queen f2 check.
Yeah, exactly. So queen b6 will not work. So maybe knight f3 is the only way to
Yeah, knight f3 or
defend the
rook
f2 pawn.
f1. But once you get this
But
knight
now,
f3 and once you consolidate, this
yeah,
bishop is so out of the game. So something very immediate has to come for black. I'm not sure if rook e2 is the direction here. I'm not sure. If at all black has a defense, which I'm not entirely sure if he has, it has to be something here. Yeah.
maybe bishop into g2, bishop into
Yeah,
g2,
bishop into g2 was what my initial thought was. Bishop into g2, king into
it,
g2,
queen
queen
g4. Now
g4
still
check.
king h1 is a
Yeah, king
move.
h1, and then there are no more checks.
Yes.
Everything seems defended for white.
But now
But
rook e2, yeah,
yeah,
simply.
rook e2. Yeah, exactly. I was thinking along the same lines. Somehow, this doesn't feel totally convincing for me. Uh,
Yeah, I
let's say I
mean, for
continue with rook
example,
g1. Yeah,
uh, even queen 8, queen f3 is a possibility.
yeah. Queen 8 check. This is exactly what I was going for, but I wanted to, bring some rook g1. But maybe this is stronger. What you suggested is stronger because black has to go back.
Yeah, because queen d4 unfortunately doesn't work because rook on e2 is hanging, and uh, I mean, how does black react? He has to play queen e6 stuff, and already you can, I mean, be happy with all your pieces being near your king.
Yeah,
So
yeah. True. queen f3, and this kills the game. Queen e6, just knight f1 also should work. Yeah. So yeah, what can you make from their body languages here?
So Nihal seems to have seen something, so I'm just wondering what is it? Like really, like what is it, guys? Bishop,
Yes, guys, while we wonder about what Nihal and Prag are thinking, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel so more people can come in and watch our Indian prodigies at the global stage. So, yes, Prag
definitely.
calmly thinking, is very, very calmly thinking.
Do you want to
And
have a quick look at Gukesh's game, maybe who's playing Vincent Kimar? I believe they both are the same age, or is Vincent a little older? Vincent
uh,
Kimar, also one of the brightest prodigies. He is from Germany and
no,
born
I
in
think Gukesh is
2004.
younger. Gukesh is younger
Yeah.
than all these kids. He's quite tall, but he's really young.
Yeah, and he has been coached by Peter Leko actually. So one of our commentators of Chess 24, everybody loves him, and he
Yeah,
has
yeah,
been his
yeah,
coach
yeah.
for a long time. It's amazing.
Yes. Doesn't look. It looks kind of equal, yeah. But Gukesh is extremely low on time, so it really depends on how he manages his 5 second increment. Meanwhile, rook into a5 has happened in the game between. Oh, bishop into g2 taken. Bishop into g2 taken. Wow.
Oh, he
Without
took it.
without taking rook into a5. So bishop into g2 taken without taking rook into a5. But I really don't see what Nihal has seen here, and he has gone below his name. So this doesn't look good for Nihal. I feel Prague is the favorite to take this game. It has been a pretty good game by Prague, a pretty good choice of opening, and
You you know, Shri, what I feel is the point. Like what
mhm.
I feel Nihal is going to go for is king into g2, queen g4, king h1, rook a5, queen a5, and queen d4. I think this is
Ah,
what he's going to go for.
okay. Yes, yes, yes.
And
I
this
think I
is
think
not
yeah,
very clear actually, because after queen d5, we can simply take queen into f2.
right.
Yeah, this is what he has seen, I feel.
Yeah, but it feels already a bit too desperate as black. Yeah, queen g4, king h1, queen into d4. I feel he has missed something. I'm not
But do you
entirely
think
sure
it's
if
so clear that position after queen d4 with the idea to also take on f2? So maybe white plays something like
rook f1.
rook f1, but then black can play rook e2.
I think White is getting his pieces. Yeah, knight f3.
But then queen c4 is hanging, no?
Yeah, you have to take queen into c4. But if
But then
Black
queen
can,
d8 and queen d6 is also hanging, actually,
yeah,
in the end.
true. And then White has everything under control. Yeah, queen g3 coming in. So maybe from afar it looked good. It looked like some compensation for Nihal, but when we look at it closely in this position, uh, it looks
Oh,
it looks
Shri,
it
I'm
looks quite.
sorry. That position is actually good for black. You know the position we were looking at? I think queen d6. There is a move like rook e6.
Yeah, I saw
And
rook
queen
e6.
d1, there is rook d6.
Oh, this I did not see.
Oh,
And
but
queen b1
then,
check.
yeah, there is this check. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, the
But
check is
yeah, Black
annoying.
can keep the game going with some queen c6. He can he
Yeah,
can
which is,
pose some problems.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean it feels like desperation here. Yeah,
Yeah, he needn't have gone for it since there were maybe other options, but I think he just he
he
probably
came under
missed something.
pressure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it was an unpleasant position. He came under pressure. Probably missed bishop g4. The position was okay for Black. It was not that was. It required some accuracy, but I think Nihal didn't quite feel that position well.
Mhm.
So he came under pressure. He was not sure what to do. It was gradually getting worse, and Yeah, so in short, he just got outplayed, but still, it's not quite over because if black
Yeah.
can get into a point where he has two pawns for the piece, then black can try for a draw. So queen d5, queen into f2, rook f1, rook e1. So the thing about chess is even if you're a piece up, the position with king and knight and king and bishop is a draw, which we all know. So when you have two little pawns, it can be complicated. Did you see that? That was
No.
some nice calculation by Prague. Queen e4 check, rook into e4, rook into f2, rook d4, queen e4 check. I did not see at all. See, but that is the thing, yeah. If black can get d5 here, he can really fight for a draw. But Nihal can't quite force it. So it really depends on that. f5 played. I think he's trying to get this pawn to f4, pawns to g5 and f4. This knight on d2 defended by the rook on f2, the pawn on c4 defended by the knight on d2. So white's piece is quite interdependent on each other, and again the whole thing revolves around if white can save the c4 pawn or not, if white can keep it protected or not. If white can do it, then white is winning. If black manages to take it somehow, then black can hold a draw. So I'm wondering if he'll play f4 now, preventing king e3, f4 and but yeah, f4, knight e4, rook into c4. The f pawn can become too weak. So I think again it's a very difficult situation for Nihal.
No,
He
he
has
does play
played
f4.
f4,
He does play f4.
but now knight e4.
Yeah, knight e4, rook c4 has to be played, no?
This I
And
don't like
then
too much.
he played king
Even
e2. But then
okay.
g5. By the way, I think in other news, I think Leon is completely winning against Jer Jonas Bull. We can go to that game later because this is also heating up. But good for Leon that.
Yeah, good for Leon, good for us. Oh, it's over, Soumya. The rook is trapped. King c2, king c3, rook is trapped, and Nihal has missed this.
Oh my God, king c2, king c3. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
both
So
of
he
them have
has to
seen
play
this.
f3. He
Yeah,
has
yeah,
to
yeah,
play
yeah,
f3.
yeah, 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 yeah. So Prague has taken this one.
Rook
King g6, the
h2.
final blender. Rook h4, and now just h3. Yeah.
Oh,
G4, just rook f4, or yeah, just take this. No, now this is just lost. Now there's not much. There's no intrigue in this anymore.
but really good game by Prague. So much control over the position, and he found all these queen 8, queen e4 stuff, and this king c2 as well, right? King d1, king c2 maneuver. I think it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Here at this point, Nihal should have played rook d3, and he was still very much in the game because
Mhm.
white's pieces are not getting active.
Right. Yeah, rook d3 would have been given him good chances to hold.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Uh,
So, uh, Prague takes this game. Rook h6 and rook h4 incoming. Knight e5 check is the threat, and
right.
that
So
will take Prague
probably,
to 2 out of 3, and Nihal at 1.5 out of 3. So yeah, we can move on to the other games. Yeah, or do
yeah.
you want to stay for the
Uh,
finish?
I think we can stick to this game because it might get over. I think rook h6, king
Hmm.
g7, rook h4, I guess, and he
Yeah, rook
probably
h4
pushed
and king
the
f4 incoming, and maybe after king f4, Nihal resigns.
king f4. But the c4 pawn is can be supported with knight d2. That is the issue.
Yeah,
After
just give a
rook,
check, rook h6 maybe. Yeah, 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 yeah. Not really much to play for anymore. I think Nihal is just making moves because he's upset
yeah.
with the way he has played this game,
Mhm,
and it's kind of in automatic mode, kind of
mhm,
in the bullet mode where he's just randomly making the moves, but
mhm.
there's no way for him to survive this one. Yeah, king c3, rook e1, mate threat, king a5, and just rook b5, king b4, knight
c5
d3.
maybe, yeah,
Yeah,
and just
Yeah, so resignation expected at
Yeah, maybe
any
now we
moment.
can. Yes, I thinking c4, rook h6. Um, yeah, good game by Prague and tough for Nihal, but there are so many games left. So I think it's also a way to get over your upset mood. To just keep playing a few moves and not resign, so that whatever your mood is, it gets better in this game itself. I think so. Like I have observed this in a lot of players, that they don't resign even in like completely lost positions, because even after the game is over, you're going to be upset anyway, so you just keep on playing so that your mood gets
Yeah,
better
it also
during the
happens
game
out of
itself.
inertia, you don't want to accept kind of what happened. And
Hmm.
Gukesh is winning, by the way, against Vincent. He has
Right,
a
and I think Leon
complete.
is also winning. No, Leon against Jer is completely winning. He's 1000 pawns up. Okay, he's a lot of pawns up, and
1000
the
points up.
pawns are just rolling. Pawns are just rolling.
Yeah,
So he's got it under control.
yeah, he's got it under total control. And so that's a 3-1 score for the Indians. And Gukesh moves on to 2 out of 3, Prag at 2 out of 3, Nihal at 1.5, and Leon also joins him at 1.5. So, guys, the Indian juniors are picking up pace, and with time, as they get into the tournament, as they get warmed up, I'm pretty certain that they will start coming into their element, and they'll start showing their
Class.
best form. Yeah,
Right.
the class.
Amazing. Yes, Gukesh is a piece up, and definitely has this game in control. He has enough time as well. We can expect white victory here any moment. And Leon as well got completely under control.
Yeah, yeah.
And then hg and rook a g2, and if you go you can't play rook g8 actually, so maybe rook a7, g3 hg,
Hang
rook
on, hang on, hang on. You're going Rook
a7
G.
g
Yeah,
rook a7, and you can't play rook g7 because a1 is also queen, so there are basically too many passed pawns and also a checkmate threat, and that's the reason black resigned.
yeah. I think he just is resigned, or did he lose on time? I don't know. But in any
No,
case,
he resigned.
Leon has taken this one. He has won this game.
Right, and the next round is Leon versus Gukesh actually.
No, I think we have it has just stopped updating.
The
Oh, the next round is Leon versus
Yeah,
Gukesh.
yeah. Leon is playing white against Gukesh in the next round. Prag will play against Badelka Olga. She's a Belarusian player, and she's right now studying in the University of Missouri in USA as an undergrad. And there is Nihal versus Salimova next as well. Nurkul Salimova.
Yes. Nihal against Salimova, with Nihal having the
Who's a
white pieces.
Bulgarian. She's a Bulgarian chess player and
Yes.
woman
Do you know her
grandmaster.
well?
No, actually, I have never seen her play. She's much younger than me. She's 17 years old, and she's a woman grandmaster as well as international master. But I have never seen her play in any tournament yet. Um, so yeah, curious to see how she's going to do in this tournament.
Yeah,
Getting
me
to
too,
know a
me
lot
too,
of
me too.
new players as well, right? Like some of the players we are already familiar with. I'm sure Janta is familiar with the Indian prodigies, for example, Nihal,
Yeah.
Prag, But Gukesh, I think they are seeing him play for the first time, much of the Janta, and Leon as well, because Leon has been playing over the board tournaments, but he has not been playing many online events.
No,
And
Gukesh, I'm sure they are very familiar because Gukesh won the Vidit Chester,
oh yes,
which,
that's true. That's true. So Gukesh,
yes,
they are already familiar with, and now there is Leon, one more Indian player they'll get to know through this tournament. And there are so many prodigies from across the world who are playing here, which will get introduced to us from this tournament. I
yes,
think it's
yes,
it's a
yes.
really nice event. And as Kramnik said, I was just reading up the report on this tournament a couple of days ago, and Kramnik mentioned that the main winner of this tournament would not be the player who wins it, but the player who learns the most out of it,
Hmm,
out
hmm,
of this
hmm.
experience, and
Profound.
someone who can use this experience in his career later. And he mentioned that when he was a teenager, he was not the strongest player from Russia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember. That was a
Yeah,
nice article, That was a
yeah, I
nice
really
April
liked
Fool
his
article.
I really liked his insights, and he mentioned that he was not the strongest. He was one of the strong players, upcoming players from Russia, but he was not the strongest teenager. And yet, it was him who became world champion. Yet, it was him who defeated Gary Kasparov. Yet, it was him who was world number one. So, basically, he was the one who learned the most in his teenage years, and that's the reason he could use it later in his career as a professional chess player. And that's why he advises all the players to make sure that they learn as much as they can through this experience. And I think that's an amazing advice.
Absolutely, absolutely. The chat showing the knowledge of the Indian kids. They know Gukesh and Leon quite well as well. But what we are all learning about is the depth of the junior talent across the world. Again, Vincent Kamer, Abdu Saturo, Paulina, all known names, but some of them not as well known, yes, like Salimova, for example, and Karizayev, who Nihal played in the second round, or quite a few new players. Leon Awenda, also well known in certain parts, but perhaps not as well known to the Indian audience as Nihal and Prag might be. Uh, so I think this really gives a fantastic view of the future to come. So if you follow this tournament well, if you know all these players, you're probably going to know the best players from 5 to 10 years from now when you're following the champion chess tour at that time.
Yeah, they could be the ones playing the Champions Chess Tour 5 years from now. Maybe 10 years from now. 5 years is too much.
Yes, and one of them will already be playing the champions chess tour right this month. So let's see, guys. Let's see which of these kids make it, and hopefully it's an Indian kid.
Yes.
So the
So,
next game is at 9:45, and I think we can quickly go through the games of maybe the game of Gukesh first. Gukesh against
yes,
Vincent.
let's do that. Let's do that.
It was a Caravan, knight f6, knight c3, knight into d5. Pano system, castle, bishop e7, d4, the isolated queen pawn, queen e2, takes, b6. Vincent actually looked quite solid, yeah.
In this
Uh,
game,
yeah, I think around. I remember
I'm
I checked
just
the
going
position
through
around.
it in the opening right now, and I'm at the position after e6 because I'm not able to follow the screen actually.
Oh, you aren't?
Yeah, now I got it. Now I got it. So, yeah, this exact position I was also at. So we are in sync, Shri. Okay,
No, no. You told
and
me 7 e6, and then I got it here.
okay. So yeah, I'm at this position and short castle, bishop e7, d4, Short castle, queen e2. Well, I don't know. Do you think it's like a solid position? I think, I mean,
No, here white
normal
does have
position, no?
initiative.
Huh.
Here white does have initiative. The isolated queen pawn, the pawn on d4, it's basically an isolated pawn because no pawns on the adjacent files. And it is a queen pawn, so the IQP is one of the most famous concepts in chess. White usually, I mean, the side with the isolated pawn, it usually gets a lot of initiative against the king's side. But if the side against the isolated pawn manages to neutralize the initiative, then the side against the IQP usually has the better position. So they usually put a piece in front of the isolated pawn, blockade it, and then try to pressurize it, pressurize it with all their might. You know, with queen b6, bishop f6, knight e7, and all these related moves. So this is uh, the current situation,
Right.
and
But
it
I
has
think,
it has had a rich legacy. You know, it was played in the Steinitz Zukertort First World Championship in 1894, which Steinitz won.
oh,
And then
wow.
for a while, people just thought that the IQP was better for the side who's playing against the IQP.
Hmm.
And then Botwinick came and he showed several wins with the IQP, which
Hmm.
led to a slight change in perception. Today we know that IQP is, you know, neither a good thing nor a bad thing. It's just a position. In some cases it can be good. In some cases not as good.
Yeah. One clear case when an IQP is definitely not an asset is in the end game, because the advantage of having an IQP is that you can create an attack against the opponent's king, because pawn in the center, it controls some key squares in the center which can prove as a outpost for your pieces. And also the position is quite open. Usually you're ahead in development, usually as a compensation for getting the isolated pawn. So those are your advantages while playing with an isolated queen's pawn. And so once you go into the end game, the lesser the number of pieces on the board, the more advantageous it is for the side playing against the isolated pawn.
Very,
So
very instructive, Soumya.
uh, thank you. And but I think Vincent, Mukesh actually played quite well, but Vincent managed to defend it until a certain point. And maybe we can have a look at the position after, let's say, 36 a3, because it's a really long game. But for example, the position after 36 move a3,
Actually, but
black
how did
is,
they get into this position where the bishop, dark square bishop, is unchallenged? Because this is already dangerous, you know. As black, I wouldn't. I would try
yeah,
not to let Gukesh get this kind of initiative against me.
he had no choice at some point. He had to give it up because black got black played g6 at some point. So the squares around h6 and g5 got weak and got occupied by the white bishop. And then he put his knight on e5, then g4 and f6, and that's how he got
Ah,
the
okay.
dark squared bishop. In return, black did get a couple of pawns. So actually the position which we looked at, the 30 after move 36, black is 2 pawns up, but it's still
Yes.
so good for white, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. Again, against Gukesh, I wouldn't let myself be in such a position with 2 pawns down if I can help it, because he's incredibly good with the initiative, and if I know that if I give him a position like this, he's going to feel like a fish in the water.
Right. And it's very instructive this moment after a3. I think black cannot play d4. Okay, for also another reason is that the c1 rook is protected with the queen on h6. This is easy to miss. Long moves are usually easy to miss, but basically d4 stuff doesn't work because the rook on c1 is still protected. So after a3, he has to go back to a6. which is
Mm-hmm.
a pity, I would say. I mean, the knight on a6 is even further. And after bishop d3, rook c8, bishop b2. So Gukesh is even willing to trade rooks just for the initiative. After rook c1, I guess he will take with the queen and then put his queen to c3 and create mating threats against the king on h8 and g7. Knight c5, bishop f1, rook d8, queen h4. And then
Yeah.
he got his queen to d4. So he got his queen on this diagonal, basically.
Mm-hmm. And then the initiative kind of went
Yeah.
out of control. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the position got out of control. Maybe king d6 had to be played instead of knight e6.
At which move?
Like 43rd move when he gives rook e1 check.
Ha ha ha. King
No,
d7.
king d7, I mean, sorry.
But bishop b5 check is here, no?
There is bishop b5 check.
Yeah, no. If you give Gukesh these kind of questions, he will find a. I think it was. Oh yeah, the games have started by the way.
Right. So this was
Nihal starting with
completely
one d4, and Prag starting with Prag with the black pieces playing the King's Indian defense.
right. Nihal against Salimova playing. Oh, maybe he's going to play the Catalan, huh?
Yeah, I know, I
Hmm.
know. That's why I wanted to get to this moment, you know.
We all know which course he has referred to. And guys, check out the course by Shri on Chessable. And this game could very well be an example, a great promotion for his course because Nihal is Shri's student.
Yes. So my Discord members who are watching, do take a screenshot of this, okay? It will be it's important, and you can also clip it if you want.
And
So yeah, Queen C2, the mainline position. Uh, Prag on the other hand, he has this on board. He has a classical King's Indian position. Good center for white, but black also, not doing too bad. So this is the opening of both these games. You are saying something, Soumya?
I was also wanted to mention that it is Leon versus Gukesh in this round. So
Yeah. It's Leon versus
Leon is
Gukesh,
white
and
against
it has
Gukesh.
started with this position, which was also there in Prague, Nihal, after the first four moves.
Right. So maybe Shri, you could take us through Nihal's game today and explain the Catalan for all our viewers.
You just read my mind, yeah.
So we have this position, bishop e7, bishop g2. I'm sure हमारा पूरी जनता को अभी पता है कि इसे हम कैटलान बोलते हैं जब हम बिशप को फियांजेटो करते हैं. And then castle, d into c4.
Someone in Chris Kane says like Catalan seems like Kattappa. You can depend on it most times. Come on. What analogy is that? Catalan is like Alfred. Okay, you can depend on it all the times. It won't backstab you. Never. The word backstab, it starts with B, not C.
Right. Is this the line you give in your course, Shri? I'm just curious.
Yeah.
Or do
It's
I
a it's
need
a
to?
main line. It's a main line.
But
It's
with
also the first
a4.
chapter. Yeah,
a6 with
a6
a4.
a6 is the main position.
Mm-hmm.
Now after queen into c4, black intends to play b5 because in a lot of these positions, black really struggles to get these pieces out. Get these queen side pieces out. So black wants to try and get queen into c4 and b5 asap. So he
Mm-hmm.
goes a6. White tries to prevent it with a4,
Mm-hmm.
denying black that easy development of his queen side pieces. Bishop d7, queen into c4, bishop c6, bishop g5, knight b d7, knight c3. All of these main lines. Now black plays h6, bishop into f6, knight into f6, and this is one huge main line, which is actually quite solid for black as well. One of the most solid lines you can play against the Catalan. But white has this a slight edge in these kind of positions, a very slight, a very minute edge. So bishop into f6 and now knight into f6, and this is
What
the position, rook f d1.
what would you say white is playing for in this position after bishop f6, knight f6, rook d1?
So
What
white
is it
plays
that he
more in
wants?
the center and the queen side. So for
Okay.
example, if you give me two moves for free as white, then
Mm-hmm.
I'll play queen d3 and e4. I'll try to get this pawn to e4
Right.
and play against the black's pieces. So
Mm-hmm.
then what black would do is black will take bishop into f3, bishop into
Mm-hmm.
f3, and put this pawn on c6. So he puts
Mm-hmm.
all these pawns on the light squares, playing against white's light square bishop,
Mm-hmm.
and then try to break with either e5 or c5 in the future. So before doing this, black generally prefers to start with bishop d5 just to drive the queen away, and then play
Mm-hmm.
bishop into f3. So after bishop into f3, c6, he gets this position with
Oh.
one extra tempo. Instead, Salimo, she has played queen d6 here. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is what was played by Grischuk against Vidit in one of the Champions Chess Tour games. So here, queen d6 is also an useful move, and it controls this b4 square, which white grievously weakened after playing a4. And yeah, it's also one of the solid options for black.
We missed a super chat, so let me just read it out. Suya Singh says, both of you are looking very cute in your casting setup. Okay, thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
Suyash.
Shash.
So coming back to Nihal's game, do you think Queen B4 exchanging the queens would be something that Black would like to do here?
I'm not entirely sure. So queen d6. After queen d6, I suggest e3 in my course, and this was not Vidit Grishuk. It was Lee Kwang against Aronian. So here white either goes queen d3 or e3. These are the two main moves here. And
Right.
after e3, if you go queen b4 yourself, you
Mm-hmm.
know, then I take the queen, bishop into b4, then knight e5. And these kind of endgames where black has not yet got c5, which is an important liberating move in the Catalan. When black has not achieved this c5, white usually always retains a slight edge. So this is the reason why this is not such a great idea for black. Queen into b4, bishop into b4, knight e5, and these endgame positions are at least just a little better for white. Black's queenside pawns are weaker, and
Right.
white has better control in the center.
Right. And it's important to note that after C5, White has knight A2, and that's the reason Black cannot play C5 here.
Yes, yes, yes. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Knight e2 and perhaps followed by knight d3. You know
So
your stuff
Ulf
in Catalan, yeah?
Anderson.
I think you play a bit of Catalan
Yes,
yourself, right?
yes, I do. I really like Catalan actually as white, and I started playing Catalan after seeing that Vidit plays a lot of Catalan, and actually that's how I started to prepare it. So
Mm-hmm.
initially, I saw a lot of his games, and I also saw a lot of end games by Ulf Anderson, who has handled so many equal looking endgames in the Catalan so well because of his subtle understanding of the endgame. So have you covered some of his games as well in your course, Shri?
There is a model game of Wolf Anderson, uh, and the Vidit games are scattered all around the course. They are like like these clues you have in a treasure hunt. It's there all around. Uh, but yeah, I didn't include Vidit's game in the model games, but
Mm-hmm.
it's there all around within the course files itself. And
Maybe you
talking
need to
about Vidit,
update your
someone
course
sorry
after this game, huh, Shri? Little bit tweaking required.
after
Like
this
you
game.
can include this one maybe. Let's see.
Ah, okay, for the model games.
We
Yeah, yeah,
can,
yeah. Yeah.
we can wait and watch.
True, true, true.
Nihal
Uh,
taking a lot of time for his next move, by the way.
yeah, I don't think he remembers what to do against Queen D6. Nihal is basically coming right after his 11th exams. Yeah, he also hasn't played anything since the World Youth last year.
Oh
So
wow,
he's
it's a long
also
time.
yeah. he's also, he also probably needs a bit of time to get into the heat of things.
Let's have a quick look at Leon versus Guke, shall we? Because they have
Sure, sure,
also
sure.
gotten into an middle game position.
Oh yeah, once again we have this isolated queen pawn
IQP,
position. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes.
But Leon with the white side this time. Last time it was Gukesh who was in the initiative. Interesting thing is both Gukesh and Leon have the same coach, right? Vishnu Prasanna.
Leon is also working with Vishnu. I completely forgot about that. I knew that Gukesh is working with Vishnu. Yes, and they must have had a lot of training sessions together as well. Then that means.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure they must have. Someone in the chat, there was also a super chat by Suyash again. Catalan is like Itachi, loyal. I'm not sure how many people would get that Naruto reference. There's also someone in the chat who said Catalan is like the N95 mask.
Yeah.
I couldn't miss reading out that. So, knight g4 played with the idea of bishop into f3, threats on h2, bishop into e4, queen into e4, knight f6. I think black has neutralized white's initiative, no? It's safe, right?
Right. Yeah. I think black is okay, no? I mean, there is no attack against black's king. That is the main achievement, I would say.
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but um, right now the problem is the d7 knight, right? That's the only problem in black's position. I mean, where
Uh,
is it going? Otherwise, black is
I think
completely
black just
fine.
plays h6 now. Ha, you go
So
bishop h4, yeah?
yeah, I mean, I go bishop h4, then I go bishop g3. I control some squares.
Yeah,
Not so
black is not
easy.
able to get the queen onto c4. But I think he just puts his queen on e4 or something maybe. Queen f4 and queen f4 feels natural to me. Maybe with some knight e4 coming in.
Right. Uh, Someone in the chat asked for a link to the article where which has Kramnik's advice. So I'm just posting a link to the article in case you're interested to watch it, to read it. And it also has a lot of information about the Challenges Chess Tour in case you're joined late and you want to be updated on what it is about. So you can have a look at it.
Yeah, in the meanwhile, in the Prague, Olga against Prague game, look at the time difference again. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Prague also, he gets into these intense time trouble zones.
Oh, right. That's a lot of time difference for sure. Uh, Again, Fianchetto, King's Indian,
Yes,
very
again part of my
dynamic.
course.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a full 1d4 repertoire, right? So it covers all these d4
You
systems.
you have made a 1D4 reporter or a Catalan reporter?
It's a 1d4 repertoire based on Catalan. It's a lifetime repertoire.
Oh, I see. So
Yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
cover this one as well in your course.
Yeah, yeah, I cover everything. Every option against 1d4.
Wow. So this round is really crucial. It's a test of your course. But okay, Badelka Olga is probably not seen your course yet, or maybe she has. Maybe she has. Shri,
Yeah,
is she
maybe she
following your
has. Maybe
course
she has.
in this? Like after let's say seventh move e5 e4 rook e8, queen c2 is logical.
Yeah. Rook e1 is the other logical move.
Mm-hmm.
Queen c2 is also a move.
ed4 knight d4, and here knight e4 doesn't work, is it? A move
After
like
rook
knight
d1, yeah?
e4. No, after 10th move knight
Okay. Knight into e4.
d4.
I understand what you mean. Um,
No, I'm just surprised that she allowed it and black also did not play. So there must be some reason.
yeah, I'm pretty sure there is. Chat, do you want to try and find this one? I haven't figured it out myself. So this is one of those instances of teacher trying to escape by asking the student.
Maybe the problem is just knight e4, knight e4, knight bishop into d4, bishop g5, and after let's say knight f6, we have rook d1. And
Yeah.
if black plays bishop f6, we take on f6 with the knight, and we win the dark squared bishop for in exchange for a pawn, which is a great trade-off.
Hmm.
And if black plays f6, then we have already cut off the bishop from going back, and that's definitely an achievement, right? Can we?
Yeah, and then bishop at 6, knight g5, bishop d5, all these moves coming in.
Yeah,
White certainly has furious
so white
initially.
would have a.
Back to the live question. Knight d5, a5, f4. Prakash certainly getting a bit squeezed. Yeah, he has very less space. Uh, Looking at his size, you would think that he doesn't
And that's the
require a lot
reason
of
black does
space.
not take the.
Sorry?
Sorry, no, I'm listening to you, Shri. Please tell me.
No, no. I just made a lame joke, so you can carry on.
I was invested in the position, so I'm sorry I missed it.
No worries, no worries. You didn't miss anything. It was like one
And
of those AD jokes and one B3.
after a5, she has played f4, is it? I mean, I see it on the
Yeah, she has played
screen.
f4. Yeah. This is the present position, black to
Okay,
play. And
she has played f4.
f5 is one of the threats perhaps. But white has to be careful playing f5 because it allows black to get the e5 square. Prag prevents f5 with f5 of his own, but now white plays maybe rook e1, f into e4, bishop into e4.
Neha, Shri, do you think that women players, okay, this is just my observation, but do you also feel that women players tend to be very aggressive?
It's a common perception. It's a common perception. But I'm really not sure. And
I
I'm
don't think I don't think it's true in case of everyone, but I feel my observation is that women players tend to go for direct lines. That is my observation. I'm not. It's hard to generalize, of course.
yeah. To be honest, I consciously try to stay away from stay away from generalizing these things in
Generalizing,
general.
right?
And again, if we actually start dissecting these things, I'm not sure how well they would stand. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because for example, Koneru Hampi, uh,
Right.
our best player, I don't think she's that direct or aggressive. Yeah, she has a style of her own, not that concrete. I think she's much more strategic, right?
Yeah. Humpy is for sure not at all direct and not at all. Yeah, she's very strategic, and she's actually even quite tricky. Even Harika is very tricky
Yeah.
as a player.
Also, Anna Muzichuk, she was here in Chess 24 India some time ago for the
Mm-hmm.
Champion Chess Tour, and when analyzing with her, I also didn't find her to be, direct or aggressive. She was just a strong player, actually. She was just finding many strong moves that both me and AD were missing repeatedly.
Mm-hmm. On the
So
other
if
hand, her sister Maria Muzichuk, who was also women's world champion, she is very direct and aggressive. She always goes for main lines and
yes, and also Judith
tactics.
Polgar, yes.
Yes, of course, Judith. the
So yeah, I mean, I think
everyone
I
knows
think
of
this is
her.
also largely individual, just like how men are.
Right.
Uh, but yeah, uh, I have heard this a lot, but I'm really not sure if it would stand the scrutiny if we really start making a statistical analysis professionally.
Right. In my experience, playing experience, as in when since I've faced a lot of women players, I feel women players at large are more direct and go for like they like to attack. At least they like to play direct chess. This is what I have observed. Of course, there
Okay.
are different types of players, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
in general, this has been my observation.
Okay. Uh, uh, I would, just conclude that I think you probably know better here because I don't have as much experience as you. Why I got distracted was because I think Prag has achieved something significant in this position. He's winning one of White's bishops because bishop into c. If bishop moves from here, there's bishop f5 with knight d3 incoming, and if White takes bishop into c5 herself, then after d into c5, Black has very good control of the dark squares. So I think Prag is starting to take over here, starting to build some serious pressure again with knight c5. And this was probably missed by his opponent because she's now thinking about it, but
Yeah,
I don't think she has a good way, and I think White has lost all her advantage.
right. Very alert. C6 was a very strong move, actually.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'm sure he saw this whole sequence. This is Krug's fort, uh, and it was a very forcing sequence, and now he has flipped the game onto his
Yeah.
side. Although Krug has less time, his position is so good, so easy to play that I feel that isn't really such a big disadvantage for him. Bishop f5, knight d3, bishop d4 check. All the moves are flowing in for Krug, and it's a it's a big moment in this game, which I think it's a kind of turning point.
Also, it was important to play c6 first and not go knight c5 directly, because after knight c5, bishop f3, um, bishop f5. Um, I I think we can simply play queen d2 here because our knight on d5 is very strong and we have knight e7 coming in.
Yeah. The knight on d5 is very strong. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
So that's
So
why it's
important to
important to
start
kick
with
it away
c6.
first.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it has happened on the board. Knight d3, rook into e8, queen into e8. White has lost control completely, and she has certainly missed something because uh,
Oh my god, now bishop d4 as well. I think she was counting on rook e8, queen e8, and rook f1 maybe, but maybe she missed bishop d4 check,
and if king g2,
king g2, is it? Well,
yep.
I have a very bad feeling about this position. Maybe queen e6 and bishop h3 coming in.
Yes, you're absolutely correct. Queen e6, very strong move.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Yeah, the Krug's moves are, flowing along, whereas for White has completely lost control. So I expect another win for Prug, which would make it a hat trick. That would be his third win in a row.
Oh, wow.
She has played g4. This is just desperate measure, lashing out. I don't think it's going to get her far. Bishop d4 check and bishop e3 coming in. Uh, and 30 seconds is a lot of time for Prug in such a comfortable position. So he's totally in the driving seat. So
This
Prag
is
win
another
this.
incredible facet of being a really strong player, that even after losing the first round, he came back with 3 wins. To
Yeah.
not be bogged down, like you could, someone could feel ki array, maybe my day is not going so well, array I lost the first round itself, someone might get demoralized. But I think it's also like the way you perceive it, right? You might uh, choose to get demoralized, or you can choose to just take it as a lesson and just move on to the next game.
Yeah, and these kids are very seasoned. They have they might not be that old in life, but in chess they are very experienced and mature. So do you want to move on to some of the other games?
No,
Maybe
actually, have a look at the finish, because I think it's going to be a pretty finish. I have a feeling. Like let's
okay.
say now white plays king g3, black can play queen e5 and checkmate white.
So
So
she's
I
probably
think
going
this.
to go king h1, right?
Oh, right. Yeah,
I'm
sure.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, she does
She
play
did play
king
king
g3.
g3.
I am very good at predicting women players moves. But queen e5 doesn't. Queen e5, bishop d6, is it? Actually,
Yeah,
it's
maybe
not
this is
very
what she's
clear.
counting on.
Yeah. Maybe
But
this is what she's
just
thinking
bishop
of.
d3, or
Right.
just move the bishop away. Bishop d3, and if bishop into d6, maybe
Rook
just queen
d8.
f7.
Ah,
Yeah,
even
maybe
queen
rook d8.
f7. Yeah, queen f7 is also. Rook
Oh, this
d8
is
might
what
not
actually
work.
happened in the game.
G5 is also strong. Just securing your knight on f4.
Yeah, look at these three pieces, how centralized they are, and how white spaces are scattered all around. So this is where black draws his power from. Bishop into
Yeah.
f4, g into f4, and now
G5 very
next
strong move by
bishop
Prag.
into c1. He just picks up
Oh,
the
what
rook,
a
then plays
beauty.
queen
But
e3.
I would play rook d8 and he also did. But bishop d5 now?
No, then you just pick up the rook at the end, no? Bishop d5, c into d5, queen into
Right.
d3, bishop into
Queen
c1.
d3 and bishop c1. Right. So
Yeah,
these kind of
so
tactics don't work out for white.
yeah,
Uh,
you just don't have the support of your pieces. Yeah, now just take the pawn and come back and win, or maybe queen e5.
yeah, queen e5, queen g6. There are many options. He played bishop
Nice.
g6. Okay. Queen g6 was also possible. Maybe he did not like, I don't know what he did not like actually. Queen g6 was also
Rook
possible.
d2, queen e7, queen h4, and gg.
Right, knight e2 and maybe bishop e4 now. Queen d7. Okay, still fighting, but she's still fighting. But this position is
Yeah. It's still. I mean, as long as it's not directly losing, like as
right,
long as there is no direct win, the game is always on,
right.
and you just try to survive one move at a time. Yeah, next move, next move, next move.
Yeah,
Kind of what we are doing against COVID actually.
yeah. I received a wonderful advice from Vladimir sir once. I asked him, what do you think I should do when I'm in a really bad position? And he told me, don't lose immediately. I think it's the best advice I have received while defending a position. Don't lose immediately. Make sure you're not blundering. Just try to survive for that move. And maybe your opponent runs out of patience. Yeah.
Yeah, against steadfast defense, it can get really frustrating. Uh, but now Prague has her completely paralyzed. The position is completely paralyzed,
Yeah.
so he can do whatever he likes,
It's
and
almost
that's what he's
Zugzwang
doing.
actually. Almost Zugzwang. The only piece that he can move is the rook. Ah, now bishop into e2 picks up the piece. Okay. He did not take the piece. He's just
No, he wants to keep his pieces. No, he wants to. He
but
has such nice pieces, such nice
yeah, but
strategy.
he could have just taken it.
Now
But
is
it's
it a
fine.
mate with bishop at f1 and rook into h2? Maybe not. Yeah,
But even
but
bishop
just queen
f1, queen
h4.
h4, and mate, no? Rook
Yeah,
f2
rook
also
f4.
works,
Yeah,
right? Everything works.
yeah.
And queen
Now
h4
rook into
here.
h2 is mate. Queen h4 or queen f2. Yeah, it's mate. Rook
Yes,
into h2 is mate.
yes. This is a nice mate. We got the pretty finish we were looking for.
Yes, let's see how far she plays.
So king g2, queen f2. And if king to h3, then queen g3 is checkmate. And if king to h1, then queen to g1 is checkmate.
She has
Very
resigned,
strong
so
game
it is
by
game
Prag.
over, and we are just in time for the finish of Nihal's game as well. Nihal is a piece up, and I think he's about to win his game. Don't ask me how. Don't ask me how this happened. All I want to say is we started with the Catalan opening, and the result immediately became apparent to me. So I decided to completely focus on the other game, because there is no intrigue when you know already what's going to happen, right? Nihal already used that magic weapon, the that
Tom
one
versus
opening.
Gukesh,
That
which is,
Sorry, your voice got cut.
yeah, sorry, my internet got disconnected. Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
Nihal
so
won the game.
yeah,
Nihal
Nihal
won the
has
game
won the game.
against
But
Nurgal.
were you ever in doubt after we checked the opening?
But it would be nice to go through it actually and see how he converted it. Uh,
I'm not sure about that.
we had checked it until queen to d6, right?
Yeah, but
But
I'm really not sure about that because yeah, I mean Nihal played a decent game, but I think in the end he just won in a time scramble.
right.
I think I saw that he lost control at some point. I I already decided at the beginning that I'll only show the game if Nihal wins. Otherwise, I'll just conveniently skip it. So I went there only at
Oh
the
my God,
last winning moment.
what a crazy game. Did you see the end of the game?
Yeah, I did, I did, I
What a
did.
crazy game with the. Do we have it on the board?
No, we are looking at this live game between
Okay.
Gukesh against Leon.
Okay.
We'll
So
have
maybe
time in
we can
between the
have a
games.
look at it in
Yeah,
the break. Yeah.
yeah.
So we have Leon versus Gukesh going on completely equal. This is going to be a draw unless one of them blunders something, which I doubt. So definitely going to be a draw.
Yeah, no, I think Black has chances.
Actually, now Black has chances after this G4 move because knight G6, knight F4, and the H3 pawn is weak now.
Yeah.
When pawn was still on G3, it was okay, no?
He
Because
kind
the
of forced
F4
it, yeah,
square,
because he played H4, putting pressure
he
on
played
G3.
H4 and he
But
forced
you're
it.
right, G4 is really not a move I would
Bishop E1 is possible,
willingly
no?
make. Yeah. But White is always a bit passive here, yeah, and he decides to solve this problem by breaking with F4 himself,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah, makes
perhaps
sense.
perhaps some F5 check. No, yeah, I think White is safe here because Black
Yeah,
has two
yeah.
little pawns.
Yeah. Yeah, this knight d3, timely knight d3 and f4 was important. Otherwise, if Black would have got his knight to f4, then it was just very bad.
Yeah, the good thing for White is White had only one weakness to defend, yeah, and they were too close to each other.
Mhm. Oh my
So,
God. Oh, now knight g7, bishop e1, and if king f7, d5.
so it's only a draw, no? Why
But
are
bishop
you?
e1,
Okay. Now knight f5 back, then it's a draw.
then d5, right?
No, no,
Now
now
knight
knight f.
f5 back.
Yeah,
Knight f5 back.
yeah. King g5 also works.
But knight f5 back, bishop f2. That was the problem, right?
No, bishop f to king f7, no?
Then d5.
Okay. Yeah, you mean yeah. This is the problem.
So
Yeah,
it wasn't. You now king into e6, right?
yeah. But I think there should be some draw, right? Bishop f2, knight f5, king into e6.
Can I play knight d4, bishop d4, king
King,
f4?
yeah, bishop f2, king f3. I think this is what he's calculating.
Yeah, this is. But he didn't go
But
for it,
you have
but
to
he
be
could have.
careful of some king. Yeah, this is
And
also a
you can
draw.
give bishop e3 check first after knight d4. This is pretty. After knight d4, first
Oh,
bishop
yeah.
e3
No,
check.
it's a check. It's a check, Soumya.
Oh, sorry. It's then that was also.
Yeah, I think that was a straightforward draw.
Oh no, it wasn't Shri. After knight d4, bishop d4, king f4, there is bishop f2. After king f3, king f5.
No.
Oh
I
no,
saw
then
this.
king
I saw
f2, king
this.
g4,
King
and
e3.
king
Yeah, I was
e3.
showing
Yeah.
this. Yeah, I
Sorry,
saw
yes.
this.
Um, this
But
was
bishop
nice.
e5 here is winning.
Bishop e5. Oh, you have it on the. Sorry.
Yeah.
Bishop e5 is winning because of king f5 and king g4 coming in, right?
Yeah. So this was not a draw.
Yeah.
And in the present position, no. Yeah, Gukesh managed to draw this because after king into g7, king e4, now white king is very much in time. So good calculation by Gukesh. And with that draw, Gukesh moves into 2.5 and Leon moves into 2 points. So we have Prag with 3 out of 4, Nihal with 2.5 out of 4, Gukesh
Also, there
with.
was a instructive moment, Shri.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt you, but there was an instructive moment after d5 in Gukesh's game, king e4, and here
Can you tell
uh,
me the move number?
on the 67th move,
D5, king e4.
king e4. Here, white if white takes bishop h4, knight
Mhm.
h4, d6, there is still knight g6 because d7, knight f8 check, and then you pick up the d7 pawn, and then you go king f4 and king g3 and pick up the h3 pawn.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So
But
this was
I'm
very
sorry,
important.
Soumya, I have the computer in front of me and
Oh,
it says that H4 is winning.
where? After knight g6.
Yeah.
Oh, so was bishop h4 working then?
Kind of. Bishop into H4, black should not play knight into H4. So let's ask chat, black to play and draw. How would you draw here?
Right, I
This
finally
is a
found it.
tricky moment.
Yeah.
But knight into H4, the problem is after D6, knight G6, H4, uh, the white king is
Wow.
well placed. This is a tough one. So bishop into H4, black to play. And how do you make a draw here? Chat. Oh yeah, there's also a super chat from Suyash Singh. Any interesting or funny stories from the tournaments? Well, there are many, many, many,
So
many, many,
many.
many.
Uh, I have mm, let me think of a recent funny story, yeah, so that it's fresh in our
Recent is
mind.
before 2020, yeah?
Yes. Mm. I was playing this World Team Championship where you were the coach of the Indian men's team. She was the coach of
Uh-huh.
the Indian men's team, and I was a part of the women's team in Kazakhstan in March 2019.
Yeah.
Actually, I did share this story once on one of the streams, but okay, let me tell you again. And before going for the tournament, I was a bit sick. So during the tournament, I was not in the pink of health, even though I had recovered. I was still not physically fit, and I remember I used to be so exhausted during the game that I used to just look for a chance for my opponent to start thinking. Let's say I play some preparation, or let's say we reach a complicated middle game position, and now when I know that my opponent is definitely going to think at this position, I used to go to the washroom and sleep for 10 minutes during
Huh?
the game.
Sleep?
Yes, take a short nap for 10 minutes.
What? Wow. How could you do that? I mean, how did you manage to do that?
Because I used to feel like really tired during the game, and I just thought that it's better I take a nap rather than keep playing in this. The first time I did it, this was my thought process, and it worked out. It seemed to help me, so I did it the second day itself. Then I did it the third day itself, and then it became like a routine during the tournament. And I think I think it worked well for me. I mean, at least it solved the problem of feeling very exhausted. So I was fine. I don't know if it's allowed. It should be allowed. No? Who cares?
To take a nap in between. Yeah, yeah, it's allowed. It's allowed. You have the right to nap. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I've also fallen asleep once in my playing career. So
Mm-hmm,
that happened when I was playing a tournament in Malaysia,
mm-hmm.
and these were these tournaments with 2 rounds every day. And then
Right.
from Malaysia, I immediately flew to Sri Lanka, so I was so heavily jet lagged. And the game started the very next day, so I was really tired and really sleep deprived. And then during the game, I thought I'll just close my eyes for a few seconds, and yeah, it just turned out that I fell asleep. And then the organizers got really worried. They brought me some tea. I was one of
Oh
the
my
top
god.
seeds, so they were like, are you okay? I was like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I just didn't get any sleep.
That's so
It's
sweet, but they were concerned about you because they could have just let you sleep and then your opponent would have won on time.
no, no. I woke up on my own. They didn't wake me up.
Oh, oh, okay,
Uh,
okay.
I,
You
I,
didn't.
I didn't like. I didn't start snoring and all. It's like the kind of when you don't sleep for a really long time, you
Right,
fall asleep by yourself
right.
automatically. That's when a lot of road accidents and stuff happen.
Mm-hmm.
You just cannot help it. So that sort of a thing happened to me. But of course, I also used to think like this, a lot of the times.
We can't see you, but okay. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I know, but I know
yeah.
what you mean. Like, just keep it like this, right? So that opponent doesn't know.
No, no,
He
not
can't
like
see.
that. Wait,
Then,
let me try to put like something like this
oh,
with
like
my
this,
hand
like
on.
just
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, and then sometimes with my head below
Oh,
my hand too.
right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So your opponent can never guess whether you're awake or sleeping. Lucid dreaming, it's called.
No, it's not lucid dreaming. I'm pretty sure it's not.
You can force him to play the kind of moves you want him to play by lucid dreaming. Like just imagine that and then you suddenly see that he's actually played that, and you're like, Inception ho gaya.
What imagination you have, Soumya. It's lovely. It's a delight to listen to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you find my stories entertaining because, yeah, usually this is the cause of all the problems in my friendships. Too much imagination. So, yeah, funny stories.
No, I've known you for such a long time, so now these kind of things are expected, and it's a sort of thing I start looking forward to.
Thank you. Thank you.
Soumya
And
in Wonderland.
Soumya in Wonderland. Oh, it's my Discord. Can I do a plug-in of my Discord even though it's
Of
an
course,
official
of course, of
stream?
course, of course.
Guys, join my Discord. It's called Soumya's Wonderland because I was so excited about discovering Discord. It was like being in Wonderland for me. You know how Alice feels in Wonderland when the first time she goes there. That's exactly how I felt about it. So मैंने नाम भी Soumya's Wonderland लिखा है. Do join it. And we'll have fun. There are like lots of channels and interesting stuff there. I'm very excited about it.
We are also very excited about it. So if you have a link, do paste it in the chat so
Oh, sure.
people
Okay,
can join in and
I'll do that.
lose themselves in the Wonderland.
How do you find Discord, by the way, Shri?
It's a lovely community. It's a extremely lovely community. So we have this weekly learning chess sessions,
Right.
and in this we always have a segment where the person that I'm teaching chess to, it was Angad Singh Ranyal for some time. Then it was Joel. So they end up playing against the Discord in the last 45 minutes.
Oh,
And yeah.
and then what happened?
So
Did they
we do
enjoy
it, we
it?
do it, we do it every week. Yeah. We stopped it during some of the other main events like CCT,
Huh?
but otherwise it happens every week, depending on the players' availability, of course. But yeah, it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, even I thought it's such a nice way to interact with everyone. It's so much more personal. And you can directly talk to people over there, on the voice channels or even in the chat. So,
Yeah.
and there are many points of views that can be discussed and, just take up a topic and start discussing it. I just thought it would be so much fun.
Yeah,
Uh,
Discord is like your own little village. Yeah, it's like your own little virtual village.
like Srinath's cafe,
Yes, like
your own
Srinath's
cafe.
cafe. Srinath's cafe, and then there are some people who have a madhouse.
Yes. I'm a part of a cafe as well as a madhouse. It's fun.
Inhabitants of that meadows are called as noobs.
Noobs, huh? So I'm also a noob by that definition.
Yeah,
I'm definitely a huge noob on Discord, but
I
it's
know
been.
that we all are.
Uh, I'm curious to see how are the girls doing in the tournament. So I'll just have a quick look at the results. Um, let's have a quick look at the results. Lee Tingi won against Yip Karisa in the fourth round, by the way. So Lee Tingi is on 3.5 out of 4 points. Is she one of the tournament leaders right now? Yes, she is the tournament leader. She's the sole leader of the tournament right now. Li
Wow,
Tingyi
she has
from
3.5 out
China.
of 4,
She has 3.5 out of 4.
and she's
There
playing
is
against Prague in the fifth round.
Yes, she's playing against Prague. She'll be black. This is going to be an epic game to follow. Prague is on 3 out of 4, closely following her. There is Gukesh on 2.5 out of 4. And by the way, Christopher Yu and Abdus Sattarov Nodirbek are also on 3 out of 4. So 3 players on 3 out of 4. Gukesh, Murzin Volodar, Vincent Kimar, Nihal, all 4 of them on 2.5 out of 4. There is Leon, Jonas Bulger, Polina Shuvalova, Zansai Abdumalik, and Gunay Mamadzada on 2 out of 4 points, which is also great. Avander Liang is on 1.5 out of 4. Zhu Jinner and Yip Teresa also on 1.5 out of 4. And Sarah Hadem, Nurgul Salimova, Dinara Saduakosawa on 1 out of 4. Olga Badalga is yet to get going. She has lost 4 games. That must be painful, but she's a really strong player. I saw her playing in the Aeroflot A group last year, and she played quite well there. She is, in general, a very strong player, and she's also pursuing her undergrad at University of Misu. I'm sure she can bounce back really strongly, by the way. So yeah, cool. And next round, by the way, Nihal versus Sadua Kosowa. So Nihal, as you mentioned, is playing 4 women players today, and
Prag
his
against
next round.
Lating J. Gukesh is playing against. Gukesh is also playing against a girl.
Oh, Abdul Malik Jansaya. Cool,
Ah,
cool, cool
Abdumalik
stuff.
Zansaya. Only Leon is playing against Vincent Kema. That game has started, by the way. So Leon with the black pieces, knight f3, knight f6, c4, the first 2 moves on board. None of the other games have begun so far, but we are slowly edging towards kickoff. We will focus on the game with the best opening. So if there is any Catalan game, we'll go there. Otherwise,
Great way to put it. Yes.
this is an interesting line which Kamer plays a lot actually. You know, knight f3, e3, c4, knight c3. A very interesting setup. And yeah, now b3, not on the first move.
But you can also reach this position after 1b3, right? It
Yes, you can, you
transposes.
can, you can, you can. Yeah, it transposes. Yeah, yeah. This is a more civilized version of b3 systems.
Fisher is going to be quite upset with you, Shri. He played b3 in a few of his games. I recently saw
Yes,
like
but then you
four,
know what
five
he
games of
said
his.
finally. In the end, he concluded that e4 is best by test.
Yeah, that's true. He was a huge E4 fan, and for a long time I believed him so much that I did not play anything other than E4. But fun fact, OP, I also played B3 when I was a kid because exactly I wanted to avoid all the main lines. So I just got a bit tired of preparing openings and I decided to play B3 and I actually got some good results. But then at some point I stopped. So it's
At
a
some
fun
point, you
opening to
wisened
play
up,
for
yeah.
sure. But I think it's a fun opening to play, to be very, very honest. And it gives a lot of fresh positions. And I think that's the reason many people are attracted to it.
Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, we have a kickoff in Prague game as well. It's a Queen's Gambit accepted, the main line, the main position. And guys, we are in the fifth round of this event with the players working so hard, the commentators. So do like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, so that more people can come in, tune in, and watch our Indian prodigies uh, show their class at the global stage. Knight bd2, knight d7, and e4. This has been played. I think this, I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is given in the Shankland, Shankland's 1d4 repertoire for chessable.
I've
I think this is
seen.
one of, yeah. This is one of the tries in Queen's Gambit accepted. Knight bd2, knight d7, e4, c into d4. And this was also played in one of the games of the Vidit chess tour. I think it was a game of Harsha Bartakoti with white, and I think Aronia Ghosh with black, though I'm not entirely sure.
Harsha Bhartakoti is also one of the winners of the Vidit Chess Tour, right? He qualified for the
Yeah. He qualified for the Indian
Indian Tour,
qualifiers.
right?
And in the Dinara Nihal game, we have the Slav defense exchange variation. Not such an exciting opening in general.
Dinara is a very solid player, by the way. So not the like we were discussing, there are many different types of players. So she's actually very solid as white. And CD5, exactly. I expected her to play. You know, when you
Oh,
said not
sorry,
so
I
exciting,
changed the board. I changed the board. I'm sorry, I changed the position. I'm really
it's
sorry.
fine. It's fine. So this is
I found something irresistible. Do you see?
oh yes, I see it. So
Yeah,
we can
rookie.
expect another King's Indian. Oh, Benoni. Oh my God, this is also my favorite. Oh, I'm so excited to follow this game now.
This is the Catalan Benoni. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure if Black plays Bishop F5 at this
Bishop
precise
F5 is
moment.
definitely not one of the main moves or the
It is one
second
of the
move.
main moves in certain positions. I'm not entirely sure if it
No,
comes
I
here,
don't
but
think
maybe
like
it
Rook
does. Maybe
E8
it
and
does.
there's this move like Rook E8, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
Rook 8 is one of the main moves. One of the main moves. So this Catalan Banani is like it's insanely complex and wide. There are so many different options for black after short castle. A6, A4. But I'm not sure if Bishop F5 comes exactly here. I think she has mixed up something. Bishop F5 is a clear mistake. So what has she? Yeah, so I'll tell you what she has mixed up with. Okay, there is this
right,
variation with Rook E8 with
right.
the idea of knight e4. Now white plays bishop f4, and here black goes bishop f5. So there is a variation like this. It's one of the main lines and a very very interesting line. But mixing up a6, a4, bishop f5. Here the point is white need not play bishop f4. White can just go knight d2 and get e4, and white gets a fantastic center without any trouble, while black is nowhere close to playing b5. So she has mixed it up, and she's in a bad position now. Moral of the story: play Catalan, get a good position with white, win the game, go home.
In fact, I'm very surprised now. Knight C4, Bishop F4 also coming in.
Yeah, bishop
Uh,
f4,
this is
a5, knight
actually
b6.
very, very passive. And this is not the kind of position you want to get as black. When you play the Benoni, Benoni is all about active play. It is about having squares, good squares for your pieces because your pawn structure is already a little compromised. You're giving up the center as black voluntarily. So in exchange for that, you want to have active pieces. You want to create an attack against black's king somehow. You want to take the b5 break or the f5 break. And here, none of those breaks are incoming. White will also get e5 quite easily in this position actually. If whenever he wants, he can get e5. Um, White is totally in a very commanding position after just
a5. I like a5, knight a4, knight b6.
yeah, after like 14 moves, White is in a very commanding position actually.
Yeah. Prag, meanwhile, has his opponents in some serious trouble, or he has done some good opening work here. So e4, c into d4, e5, knight g4. This is the present position that we have, and I'm not entirely sure how white continues here, but uh, it certainly
Just to
looks like,
show a
yeah,
small tactic,
sure,
uh,
sure, sure.
I think for queen e2, there is d3 coming in, right? I think this is the problem. Instead of rook e1, let's say white had played 10th
Ah,
move
yeah,
queen e2 directly, then black has d3 coming in, and after bishop d3, knight into e5.
yeah. Nice,
Maybe
nice
with the
one.
other knight. Maybe with the other knight. I don't know. You have a choice.
True.
Because after knight e5, queen e5, the d3 bishop hangs. This is the problem. So that's why white had to play rook e1 first and then go queen e2.
And now why doesn't the same d3 work?
Because the queen is on c7 now, so it doesn't attack the bishop on d3 after bishop into d3, and that's why
Good point.
this particular move order was chosen.
But yeah, it was a good move order, and Krug has a huge advantage. He's in the driver's seat. Clearly better position after queen e2. He has a sizable advantage. Bishop c5 played by Li Ting, and Now there are some threats of d3 and threats against the f2 pawn, but Prag has this very strong move, bishop d3, and now the knight on g4 is totally out of the game. H3 coming up next move. If there's b5, then there's also moves like knight e4 after h3, knight e4, bishop f4. So I think Prague is going to end with 4 wins in a row. A very impressive performance in the first day.
By the way, I must mention this that so we were discussing how there have been many coaches appointed to mentor the players, guide the players, have sessions with the players during the tour, before the tour. For both the teams, one of the coaches is Boris Gelfand, world championship challenger to Vishy Anand in 2012. He almost became world champion. He was leading the match, and then he tied it. She tied it and won the match on tie breaks in the rapid. He's a World Cup winner, such a legend. He is one of the coaches, and his students in this team are Nodirbek Abdusattarov, Olga Badalga, Dinara Sadvakosova, and Prag. So maybe Prag learned this particular move order from Gelfand. It is quite possible.
Uh, yeah, maybe. But this specific idea, knight d2, knight d7, e4, this is from the Shankland's chessable
Oh,
repertoire.
it is in the course?
Yeah, it's in the course. Yeah.
Wow. So you
So
did go through the course in order to not clash with it, or you anyway checked it out, Shri?
I anyway checked it out, but yeah, also to understand what he has prepared with white, because I also had to find something in Queen's Gambit accepted, and I tried to find as much as possible. I tried to find things that will have some independent value, which could not be
Right,
found in other places.
right,
So I think this try by Shankland is also a very serious try, and a very deep one. And the try that I have against the Queen's Gambit accepted, I think that's also something very interesting.
right. Do we need to can you just give us a glance of what is it? Is it e4 or is it also knight f3 e3 on
Which
the
one?
third move?
Oh, the third. No, no. It's knight f3. So knight f3 and e3. So the
Right,
first 6 moves it's similar. Here I deviate. I don't give knight b d2.
right. So the advantage of seeing all these courses is basically a lot of different ideas, right? Because Shankland gives a completely different line and you give a completely different line, and so it will be like so interesting to actually see different approaches to the same system.
Yeah, and also definitely it gives you ideas. It gives you the strategic understanding of how to play in these questions when you're learning. And when you're a professional, you just need to be aware of all the different things that's already out there, so you know what your opponents are preparing.
Oh yes,
And
that's also true. Yeah, so even if you yourself don't play the opening, you need to check it so that just to know what your opponents could play. Yeah, that's a great point to
absolutely,
make.
absolutely. So yeah, so it's important, if you're playing at a professional level, you have to know what is going on around in the world, who is giving what are the courses in the different lines, and all
So
these
let's say,
things.
Shri, someone wants to study your course. How long do you think it will take that person to go through your course once?
I think it should take at least a couple of months if you're going through the Chessable Move Trainer technology,
Right,
which is based on this spaced repetition.
right,
It takes time. It takes time for you to consolidate that information. So again, it depends. It depends on if you're learning fresh, or if you're someone who's already quite accomplished, but you want to refer it. So if you're
right,
at that point, then it might not take you as much time. But if you're learning from scratch, I think it should take at least a couple of months.
right. Very valuable. Yeah, 2 months. 2 months seems to be. It must be a very well detailed course, especially considering it's a lifetime reporter. So
Absolutely, absolutely. No, I think that's
yes,
something you get with any chessable course, because the level of quality control in terms of how well things are explained,
Mhm.
not the level of quality control in terms of what Stockfish is saying,
Right,
but the level of quality control in terms of how well each of the author explains the concept,
right.
that is very high in any chessable course. So for this reason, if you are an author and you have to do a chessable course, of course, warning is that it's going to take you a lot of time. It's not
Mhm.
a walk in the park.
Mhm.
But if you're one of the buyers, then you're surely going to get value for your money, because it's so well explained, and there is also a 30-day money back guarantee. So if you buy a course and you don't find it up to your liking, or if you don't find it useful, you can always get a refund, no questions asked. You just get the money back within 30 days.
Wow, that's really noble. That's very noble. By the way, on the board, there is, I think Prag has a really good position, but there was a small tactic that I would like to show for Janta watching. कि अभी अगर knight into d4 मारा white ने, bishop d4, knight d4, short castle.
Sorry. I saw AD's comment and got distracted. So
AD is in the
knight g4.
chat,
Yeah. My one b3 course, if you're both serious and not serious about chess.
is what you should get. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very fresh take for sure. AD's course as well. I'm looking forward to that as well. Um, by the way, on the board,
Yeah, e5. Sorry,
knight
you're showing
f7.
something, yeah?
Yeah, just wanted to show this small trap line that after knight d4, bishop d4,
Which
short
move number?
castle,
I'm sorry.
the
After,
15th move.
oh, in the present position. Okay.
Yes.
I just misheard it as knight g4. So knight b d4, bishop into d4, knight into d4, short castle.
और अभी knight into e6 नहीं मरता है क्योंकि bishop
Ah,
e6, queen
okay.
e6, and after rook a e8, the rook on e1 is undefended. So, after the queen moves, and so there are still some tactics in the air. Also, it's a very dynamic position. Um, both sides need to be a little careful, and Prague obviously is very good at tactics, but so is Li Tingyi. So is Li Tingyi.
Yeah, but Prag is the one who has the good position here, yeah, and he's into a long think, but don't be deceived, because he's actually thinking about how to get the most out of his position. Knight b d4 is not a bad move, because, as you said, after bishop into d4, knight into d4, white has the pair of bishops and black has pretty poor pawn structure. So this position is actually fantastic for white. It's a very nice advantage to have, and Prag still has 1 minute more than his opponent. Bishop into d4 is not a move that you want to take willingly as black. Maybe she will just castle shot all the same. Allow
Right.
this to happen, and then hope for some rook e8, some counterplay
Yeah,
here.
this is definitely counterplay, and there must be some bishop f2 in the air that white needs to be careful about for sure.
Yeah,
Like queen
yeah,
g3
yeah.
even coming in, maybe. Who knows? There are all these
True.
kind of crazy tactics that are always possible with the bishop on c5.
Yeah, so as black, maybe, castle first and think later, but easy to say. Uh, both Prague and Leiting barely visible, yeah, both of them below their names. Prague, you can only see his left eye,
Left eye. No, I actually can see him quite well.
but
Um,
all of these kids, I think they should get upgraded webcams, yeah. Prague's webcam is like
right.
he's not totally clearly visible.
Not very well visible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Prag and Vaishali must have got a lot of training thanks to being siblings and living in the same house in the lockdown.
Bishop into d4, knight into d4, short castle. It has actually been played, and yeah. You're right. It's always fun to have some company around
Yeah.
for anything. So
Prag could get a better webcam, but Vaishali.
I had the same thought in my mind. I had the same
Sorry, I
thought.
had to. I had to. Just couldn't let the moment escape.
No, when Anish made this joke the first time, not a lot of people found it that funny. So he really, went around and told a lot of people. And then he found this YouTube space where his jokes really started clicking. People really started acknowledging him for his humor. And that's how Anish's YouTube career kicked off.
Also, it's more of an inside joke, I feel like, it's only those who know, though they know, if people don't know the context, then they might not enjoy it so much. But if you know the context, it's like nothing will happen, right? If you don't know the context, you will be like, ye kya hai? But if you know the context, you'll be like, nothing will happen. So
Yeah. Here, so yeah, I think Nihal's game is going to end in a draw at any point. So let's not worry about that, but just giving you an update. And in Gukesh's game, Gukesh is really, really breaking through. He's just crashing through. So a quick look there. He has this pawn
oh
on
my
b4,
god.
the other pawn on e5. Everything
Oh my god.
he wants to achieve as white, he has achieved. And black's position is kind of resignable here. Black is completely paralleled and getting killed. And yeah, Nihal has drawn. So officially has drawn, and it's 3 out of 5 for Nihal on the first day. A pretty modest performance by his standards, but that's how he starts in general.
Really, I was
In
going to ask you about this. That is Nihal generally a slow starter, or is he like, going boom, boom, boom usually?
he's generally slow, and in the chess context, he definitely starts slow. He needs time to reach his. He definitely needs time to get to his top gear. Uh, he
Needs
doesn't get
time for
the.
warm up.
Yeah,
Needs
yeah. He
time for
doesn't come
warm up.
out with all guns blazing. Yeah, so back to our Prague game. I was just laughing at AD's comment. Arvind Chidambaram once told me, I'm an Anish fan, but even I couldn't take this Vaishali joke.
I, on the other hand, really like it. I think it's so funny and can be used. I use it. The only problem is, as I mentioned, you need context. So when I crack it at home, nobody gets it. And but when you crack it on a chess stream, everyone gets it because there's context. So it depends on where you crack the joke as well, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, what is this? Lee Tengye, she has less than 10 seconds. She has to make a move.
White is really, really doing very well here, actually. And the bishop on c8 is still on c8. He wants to get out. He really definitely wants to get out, but he's just not getting time.
Yeah, 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 yeah. He's like all of us in the lockdown. So we
That's
all
true.
want to go out, but we know that we can't.
Queen d6. And maybe he just. Okay, there is the option of saving the bishop to d2. And I think that makes a lot of sense. Um, what else can white do here? I feel I feel white will go for bishop d2 here and allow e5
E5
because
or
after
knight
knight
f4.
f3 the e5 pawn hangs, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
okay
don't think
to
E5 is something to be worried about in
worried
any
about.
case. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Such a nice position to have. Bishop D2, I would probably play knight F4 maybe with black. Try and get one of your bishops.
But knight f4 I won't take, no. I'll play Acha, for queen e4 you want to play knight g5. I see your point. I see you. Tricky stuff. And maybe some, but still no knight h3 coming in. Or maybe it is, huh? Maybe knight
Yeah, yeah,
h3
yeah,
is coming in.
exactly,
That's the
exactly,
problem.
exactly.
So that's the reason he's been thinking. So knight f4. White can also go queen e3 instead of queen e4, so that knight g5 doesn't come with a tempo and the f4 knight is still attacked. And after e5, we simply go knight f3. I think this makes sense.
Against queen e3, what if I play something like knight g5?
I'll play h4. That was the point.
Okay. And there's no. So he played bishop d2 after a
Yeah.
lengthy thought, and now late India
Rook
has to make a
e8.
move. Yeah, she
She
plays rook
played rook
e8.
e8. But knight
Playing with
f5?
5 seconds is such a stressful situation to be in.
And how is knight f5 here?
Knight f5 looks nice.
But maybe, yeah, knight f5 and what? Queen d7, is it?
Yeah, maybe queen d8.
Queen d8.
No,
He
but you
played
don't
knight
want to play
f5.
this with, yeah, you don't want to play. Yeah, she played queen d8 instantly. But you're not really willingly in this position, black. Yeah?
Right.
It's like prison.
No, there are so many. Even knight g7 is a move that you will consider for sure if you have time. It's just that you don't have much time, so you'll make some logical move instead.
Yeah. Yeah, just rook d1 looks strong to me. And apart from that, there are most like queen h5 maybe. No, queen h5 runs into g6. So
Queen h5 runs into g6. Yeah, that's the problem.
yeah, just queen d3.
Queen d3.
Yeah, good move. These kind of non-concrete moves are very, very unpleasant to play phases when you're in the time pressure, because you're expecting all these concrete tactical moves,
Right.
and the move that you don't expect is so unpleasant.
But Prag also getting so much low on time. He's down to 3 seconds. Play. Queen g3 has been
No, we'll
played.
see this every day. Since we are following Prag and Nihal, we are going to see this 10-second versus 10 seconds fights.
Maybe bishop d5 and knight e7 now. Come on, play. Knight g7 and bishop c3.
Oh,
okay.
No. Rook into g7, bishop c3.
Bishop
and
c3?
Now I saw the bar go down. Queen g5 or what is it?
What
Just
is it?
d4. Oh, he has missed d4.
d4
Nice,
was
nice
so
spot.
strong.
Yeah, nice spot
Wow.
by black. And
So
Prag
strong.
has missed it. Queen into d4, bishop
Queen
into
into
h3.
d4, yeah, bishop h3. So strong.
This is so totally. Oh my god, this is very, very impressive by late NJ.
Yeah,
So much
alert.
credit to her, because this was definitely not obvious.
So alert. d4 was so alert.
Yeah, and now the momentum has changed.
But f5 bishop is hanging.
He still got things back under control.
Rook g8 was a blunder, is it? Maybe queen g6 was better. But rook g5 allows h4 here. That is the problem, guys. If rook g5, h4. So maybe knight h6 is the only move, but bishop e5, right? Oh, shit. So he's got it under control, which is great. But I do feel bad for Li Tingyi because she played so well. This tactic was so hard to spot. Maybe rook c7 now? Okay, she takes on d4. The rook on g7 is still pinned. Okay, this is getting too awkward. This is getting too awkward. Queen h5 maybe? Queen h5 is a move. Queen h5 is a move. If bishop into g7, queen g7, guys. So that doesn't work. It took and now rook e7, is it? Okay, this is...
Yeah.
But now knight f5. Rook g5, knight f5.
One second.
Rook g5, knight f5. That's... Oh, and now rook e7. Oh my god. Oh my god. Knight e6, rook h5. Knight e6, rook h5.
What a game this has been. Yeah,
this is such so crazy.
Topsy-turvy game, but Prag, such an impressive recovery after facing something so unexpected. He has
bishop c8
managed
is
to get
forced
back.
because bishop c6, then the knight on e6 hangs. So bishop c8 was forced, and now just rook h8. And
yeah, now he's winning. Now he's winning, yes.
Yeah, and now white has 3 pawns and a rook for a bishop and knight. This is completely winning for white. And he only needs to make sure that he can manage his time well. That's all. b3 or rook c7. Rook c7 as well would be fine here. b3. Okay, this was crazy, the time scramble. Too many things happened on the board.
Yeah. And Prag's practice in 2020 of playing a lot of these blitz events, it has really paid off. And our initial prediction of Prag, getting 4 out of 5. So late India is clearly emotional. Yeah, she has her hand on her mouth, and uh,
Yeah, pity to miss it after finding D4 actually. Even I mean, after saving it, you still let it go. It must be feeling bad. But okay, she played incredibly well to find D4.
yep, yep,
That
yep.
was a really cool tactic actually.
And as we go there, we have a very, very special guest joining us in here. Hi, 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 Nihal.
Hey Nihal, how are you doing?
Can you hear us?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I had muted Zoom on Mixer. Yeah.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. Hi, hi, hi. Welcome, welcome to the Chess 24 India broadcast of the Julius Baer
Hi
Challenges Chess
Nihal,
Tour.
Hi.
so nice to see you. How are you? How are you? And how do you feel about your games today? And
Okay. One game was good, but others were not. It was.
which one are you talking about?
But the second game was quite strong, I think, but others were not so good. But okay, score is still not so bad.
Your game
Mhm.
against Kip Carissa, which you really
Yeah,
like outplayed her modern defense, basically.
I think it was very similar to my game in Shuffle, in a sense.
Game against
It was very similar to my game in Shuffle in World Cup.
Zafarli
Yeah.
Eltaj, who is a 2600 Grandmaster from Azerbaijan.
I
Yes,
think the
yes,
theme
yes.
was quite similar. So
The theme with A4 and C4, you mean?
yeah, and again Queen A to attack on F7, some
Okay.
tactical B6. Was just a different version of same thing. Maybe.
Yeah, that was a
Right.
model game for sure. And we also were following your game in Catalan very closely.
Yeah, I really don't know how to wait. So
No, Nihal, it's okay. I only showed them the opening where you are clearly better, and the end game where you're already winning, so you don't have to reveal the truth.
yeah, okay, like that game, my opponent just self-destructed, nothing else.
Mhm.
Right, right, right.
And how are you feeling about the tournament? Like the concept, the format, everything?
Oh, it's very good, definitely, and it's great chance for young players, including me. So yeah, it's just a very good initiative.
Shri mentioned that you had your 11th standard exams just now, and are you feeling good to be back to chess?
To be honest, I wanted a bit more of a break for some reason, but it still feels good.
Right,
And
right. Yeah, Soumya, go ahead, please.
no, I also wanted to ask you about your training sessions before the event started. All of you have a mentor. Like there is a group of 3 or 4 kids who have a mentor each. And how did that go? Was it a new experience? And how was your feeling to train with players whom you have never trained with before?
Yeah, it feels very good. And our mentor is Ganguly, so
Okay,
it's especially nice that I know him personally.
okay, that's nice.
It's nice. Just to give the people a quick update on the scores today. So Prag won his last round, so he ends up the day one with 4 out of 5, 4 wins in a row after losing the first game. A very, very impressive comeback. And he's sharing the lead with two others, Christopher Yu and Abdusaturu Nodibek. And Gukesh with 3.5 out of 5. He's in the joint second. Once again, a fantastic recovery after losing the first game. Nihal has 3 out of 5, and Leon Mendonca unfortunately lost his last game against Vincent Gamer and finishes day one with 2 out of 5. But still not a bad score considering that there are 19 rounds in this tournament overall. So the first day is just the starters, and we have the main course and we have the dessert coming up on the fourth day. So stay tuned, And with a special guest joining in, don't forget to like the stream and subscribe to the channel so more people can come and tune in. Now, Nihal, I was just curious, going through your games, clearly you're not enjoying the non-chess questions a lot. The answers are, in monosyllables. But yeah,
Uh,
can you see the board?
no, but you can just tell me which game it is. It's fine.
So yeah, in your game against Prague, which is obviously the most intense game that we observed today. Yeah, one of the curious things after knight d2 e5, did you anticipate bishop g4? Like, what
Hmm.
are your thoughts after he played knight d2 at that point?
I was just not able to find a waiting move. Like I could have waited, of course, but I thought the c5 was a good plan in general, and especially on the night mode, I thought it was a good time to
Mhm.
execute
Ah,
it.
okay. So maybe something like bishop c6 would have been a nice waiting move, yeah, preparing e4.
True, but bishop c6 potentially runs into a d5. It might not be very.
Okay. Yeah. I understand. Mostly I was thinking about a4 directly here, a4 and knight b6, but I'm not sure if concretely this is a good moment to do this because there's some queen
True.
b4, yeah?
Yeah, I really didn't know what to do there. Like, I could have played something like h6 maybe. Just, just sit tight and.
You just played h6, the pawn is already on h6.
Oh yeah, okay, that move is already over. So.
Maybe a4
Yeah,
and rook a5 is an idea.
yeah, definitely. That's an idea, and like rook a7, rook a8 was also an idea. There were some
And
plays, but
yeah,
I really wanted to get in this e5 ed4 trade if possible. So to have this e5 for the rook,
Mhm.
but this
okay.
bishop g4 was quite strong. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
also
bishop
wanted
g4.
to
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
you
some.
about, no, before we go to bishop g4, just I wanted to ask you about, did you consider playing knight f6 instead of, like when the knight was already on f3, did you feel like putting the knight on e4 yourself? No,
Uh,
not here, but when the knight was on f3.
yeah,
So around this point, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay, you didn't want to. You wanted to play the e5 idea. That was your main
Yeah.
focus. Okay.
And I just didn't even think about putting the knight on e4. It might be very decent, but it just never crossed my mind.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, so we also have another very special guest, the kid who scored the most points today from India, one of the joint leaders, Prag. Welcome, Prag. Can you
Hello.
hear us?
Yeah, I can. Hi.
Hi, Prag.
Hello,
So
Prag.
Sure. Hi.
you had a fantastic day today. So how do you feel?
Uh, yeah, I think.
It looked like you
And what a
got
thrilling
you got
game.
some of your preparations in exactly as you wanted, yeah. Like for example, the fifth round, the Queen's Gambit accepted the idea with knight d2 e4.
Yeah.
What a crazy game that was. I mean, she found
I
this
blended
amazing
D4.
d4. Yes, it was hard to find it. No,
Yeah,
it
she
was
found
easy
it
to miss.
instantly.
Yes, and suddenly the game changed completely, and then you still were able to find this rook c5 bishop e5 idea.
Yeah, Rook C5 was my only trick. Otherwise, I missed it.
Yeah.
We are just looking at this game of yours against Nihal, and just curious. So how well prepared were you for this game?
Uh, one second. Yeah, I knew till BC3, like the C4 plan.
Ah, okay. So till about 16 moves or so, yeah.
Yeah, this Rook F7, C4.
Yeah, rook f7, h6, queen c3, rook c8, knight d2, e5, and I think you were already better by around this point. But after e into d4, e into d4, I personally felt that black had to go a4 here. But were you expecting rook e8, and did you actually feel threatened by this bishop at g2 sacrifice?
I was also thinking A4 mainly, like A4 C5 was an option, something like that. I was not sure.
Oh, okay.
I
But
somehow never even thought about it. I don't know
but
why.
it's the I thought it's the only move, no? Because bishop into d7, queen into d7, rook into e5 coming,
Yes,
and
like rook d8 or rook e8 was my consideration, and this.
yeah. Initially, I was also looking at rook e8, but then when I saw that black had this d5 after queen g4
Yeah,
in
D4 was strong.
yeah, then I thought a4 is the only remaining option.
Like a4, queen b4 is coming, right?
A4, queen b4. But now you have some queen c6 ideas, yeah. So now maybe move the rook
Bishop
away and
f3, you lose a piece, right?
sorry,
Like, doesn't black just lose a piece after bishop f3?
bishop where?
Uh, Queen c6, bishop f3, black
No,
loses.
no, not now, not now. Like for example, rook b8 here, for example, and now rook into
Okay,
a4,
for
then
queen
queen
c6.
c6. Yeah.
I thought this shouldn't work like direct queen b4 or something. There is always some trick for black.
True, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw
yeah.
the sacrifice and I knew I would suffer a bit, but I thought I should be able to hold this somehow.
Yeah. Perhaps you would have been able to hold, yeah, if not for that king c2, king c3 coming in.
No, the funny thing,
Yeah.
actually, I saw the idea,
Okay.
but I counted moves wrong somehow. I thought I had time to play king g6 and then g4 f3. Like
Ah,
I
I think,
started
okay.
with g4, I think
yeah,
practically there's a good chance to do it.
that makes sense now. Like you
Yeah, yeah,
actually saw it, and even then,
but I missed
Mathematics, your
it.
old worst enemy, yeah.
Yeah.
Does g4 hold here?
Uh,
Objectively, apparently it doesn't, but practically, I think it's more likely that black makes a draw. I feel so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, no, I checked this question with computer and it showed that rook d3 is actually quite strong here.
Yeah, I thought rook f3 it's not clear like.
Yeah, even after
Yeah,
take, it's not clear, I think.
yeah, it's not clear. Yeah.
Like just take king f5, I think it should be a draw. I don't know, but I think there's
Yeah,
like a good.
I think it's not easy for white, yeah, because there are so few pawns on the board.
right.
I was just hoping that I can hold with this piece of 6 2 pawns. Yeah, that was just very well played by bro.
Yeah, but of course after king c2 it was a critical point, yeah, and I think there's no return
Yeah,
from here. But I think this was a very nice game by Prague overall. A good position from the opening, constant pressure throughout the game with accurate moves like bishop g4 and also a pretty smooth finish. So I think this is like a model game. So well done, Prague. Were there any other points where you felt things were interesting or out of your control?
You're
I
asking
can't.
to me.
Sorry.
You're asking to me.
Yes.
I'm asking you. Yeah.
Um, like in the first game I played really bad.
Yeah. The first game.
You lost to Murzin Volodyar in the first game, right? Yeah. This h3 bishop e3. This game, no?
Yeah, played really bad.
So what went wrong in this game?
I think I should play b4 after he played f6.
Okay.
Oh, in
At
the opening
around this
itself.
point,
Rook g1 is not good.
and why is that?
I think he got like a lot of good counter play. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah, after queen a5, you couldn't get b4 in anymore, and his pieces just started coming through. Yeah, his pieces just started flowing along. But otherwise, in all the games that you played today, it felt like you were completely in control. Yeah, you're getting good positions from the opening. Against Olga, I wasn't totally sure because it looked like White was having pretty decent pressure, and then once again you found. In both the
Knight
black games,
c6.
yeah. Let me just bring up that game. Yeah, c6 and knight c5. Yeah,
Yeah, bishop e4 was bad.
Right. Maybe she could have
yeah.
taken with the rook here instead of the bishop, and then It's completely different, no? This position.
Yeah, then white keeps pressure, but you can still go c6, no?
There is
And
yeah.
sorry.
There is rookie one, I think.
Oh yeah, rookie one. I missed rookie one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And white keeps up the pressure. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. This was a critical point. But with both the black games, it looked like there were tense moments. But when the game really went to a point of less than 1 minute, the critical phase, you managed to comprehensively outplay both your opponents. Yeah, Olga as well as
Mamazada.
Mamajada. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And yeah, so how's your pre-tournament training going on? Your mentor is Gelfand, yes?
Yeah. We had 2 sessions already.
Okay, so
You're already familiar with Gelfand because you have attended the Gelfand and Kramnik camps, right? So was it similar to them or is it different now because it's a smaller group and more personal?
Smaller group is one thing, and there we were seeing openings. Here, like we're just looking at other stuff like middle game.
Analyzing.
Yeah.
You're focusing more on analysis,
Yeah.
right?
yeah, no. What I wanted to ask was this Queen's Gambit accepted idea with E4. Was that your own preparation, or did you see that from somewhere?
Yeah, I saw it from the course.
See, I told you, Soumya.
From your course?
No, not from my course.
From the Shankland course.
Yeah, from the Shankland course, right?
Yeah.
So chess able courses help, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
It converts directly into points, yeah?
You know what
And
this
this is a great ad for the chessable courses. Your games today. Nihal's game against Salimova and Prag's game against Litingi.
No, that game is not good for. That's not a good advertisement for chess. Of course.
You don't think it's a good
Nihal, you got a
advertisement?
good position from the opening.
No, I don't think so.
It was +1 throughout.
Maybe.
Sorry?
Yeah, maybe. Like after 91, I didn't think I had anything.
But you didn't know this Queen D6 or you just couldn't recollect?
No, I didn't.
Ah, you didn't know. You haven't gone through my course properly yet, yeah?
Yeah.
Sad. Now you know what happens when people do that. Yeah, so Queen D6. Knight E1 is probably not a bad move, but E3 is the move I recommend in the course. And around this point, after you got E4, I think you are already slightly better. And yeah, after you got all this Knight E5 and B4, you're basically in total control. Yeah, Black doesn't get this C5 break, Black doesn't get this E5 break, and you have to probably time this E5, Knight E4, G4, G5 correctly. But again, you're in pretty much total control, I think.
Yeah, I was surprised why Nihal did not like this game because I thought it was a really well played like game. No, like maybe in the end a lot of things happened. I get it, but at least you were
No,
completely in control. No,
end was bad. Otherwise, it was okay. Otherwise, it was actually decent. Yeah.
Which was bad?
The end was bad. The end was
many
I thought
things
I thought
happened.
you said the opening was bad.
no.
No, yeah, you didn't troll me in public, yeah, only in
Not in public.
private calls. Yeah. So D into E5, rook. Yeah, around this point, maybe you just lost the control a bit.
Yeah.
But
If you
otherwise, I think it was a pretty decent game. So yeah, I think you only played like 2-3. There are only 2-3 moments where it was not that great for you.
True.
Cool, cool.
Yeah,
So looking
many
forward.
games to go.
Yeah, many games to go. Yes, yes, yes. Looking forward to tomorrow. Now that you got the day one out.
yes, 3 more days of
Both Nihal and Prag are wondering
exciting
who the
chess.
question is addressed to, yeah?
I think we are talking to ourselves. But we are certainly looking forward to a lot of exciting chess. Today also it was a lot of fun to cover all your games and so much fighting chess, and it's just very, very nice to see all of you play this tournament actually, as a viewer, as a chess lover.
Thank you.
True. It's a bit more fast paced than the Champion Chess Tour, and I think the level is also slightly more accessible, and yeah, exciting kids. Excite.
Yes.
Only thing they should improve is in getting better webcams and maybe mic.
Better webcams. Yes, maybe for the next tour. Yes, that is a good preparation. Pre-game, pre-tour preparation for next next one. But yeah, wish you both good luck and get some rest. Have dinner. Nihal, are you going to play Bullet?
Among Us.
Oh, Among
I
Us.
don't know. I don't know.
Okay.
Which one? Answer to which question?
Both. I-
Okay. Well, you guys must be having your own relaxing routines, so please go ahead and get good rest, and looking forward to your games tomorrow and the next of the tournament, rest of the tournament.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you,
us, by
Nihal
the
and
way,
Prag.
after 5 rounds. Very cool. That's so cute.
Thank you. Yeah. So you can feel free to press the leave button on the right corner.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. Bye.
They are so
Thank
cute.
you so much.
It's so sweet. I mean, after a point, it was really nice to have them on the stream.
It's so incredibly different to have them on camera compared to their off camera persona.
But Prag, Prag doesn't talk. Even Nihal doesn't talk as much. Like to me, like since you are like walking with them, maybe they're friendly, like more like interactive with you. They're obviously always friendly, and especially with chess, they are always like excited to share.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I always found them a little shy anyway. But that's probably because we are not like friends as such, no. So thoda maybe once you become friends with
Yeah.
them.
True. In a way, it's a good thing for you, Soumya, because when you're not that close with them, maybe you bully them a bit. But once you start getting close to them, they become the bullies, and it becomes very difficult for you. So I think you're in a good phase now.
Like the phase I am with Divya right now, no?
Exactly. But Divya's in that phase from the beginning with everyone.
From the beginning. No,
Yeah.
I remember when I met her when she was 11 or something, and at that time I used to be like, oh, they were so cute. I used to pull her cheeks and everything. Oh, Soumya Didi, can I also come to play? I'm like, yeah. And now,
So deceptive. The first evening I met Divya in the airport,
Mhm.
she actually hid my passport in her bag.
Oh,
And
so naughty.
of course, having been with Nihal, I immediately knew that she took it, and I
Mhm.
immediately knew where to find it.
Oh,
Because with Nihal, Nihal has a sister called Neha.
yes, I know. I have met Neha.
Yeah. So Nihal bought her two magnetic pens from Sweden, which they stick it in the fridge, okay?
Okay.
And she's quite attached to her pen, so she's like, it's my pen, it's my pen. And I used to tease her by saying that it's my pen. So what happened was, Nihal took advantage of this. So one day we were just leaving to a tournament, and then he came up to me in a sweet way and said, can I check your bag? Can I check how heavy it is? Then I said, sure, yeah, why not? Just check it. So he then did something with the bag and sneakily snuck the pen in. And then after some point, he just started telling Neha that her pen is stolen and asked her to check the bag. And she believed that I stole the pen and started calling me thief for several months from then. This is how Nihal is off camera. And after so many of these tricks, I finally started to understand why these things get hidden and to always have my guard up when I'm around these kids. But yeah,
That is such a, oh my God, I'm going to be careful next time. Thank you for telling me the story. Yeah.
yes. Always, always, always be careful. Nihal also edits Wikipedia articles and all for fun. And
Okay. Okay. If we have time. Need to be very careful.
yes,
But you know, they're always like so polite and so sweet. It's amazing actually. for me
it's
to know.
only until you get to know them. I had the same misconception when I met all of these kids. Such a good boy, such a good girl, so sweet. And then give them some time, just give them some time, okay? And then for every one of you, every coach out there, everyone, uh, all of these kids, they are the same. Very mischievous. Someday you'll see it in one of the vlogs.
Amazing. So nice day today and very good chess. Actually, I'm really happy that this tournament is happening. I think it's a very cool tournament, and we get to see so many fresh faces, and we also get to see our Indian players fight it out with the top junior players of the world. So it's been a lot of fun covering this event.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of fun. And today we had quite a bit of, initially I was being so unresponsive, fixing some of the technical things. But from tomorrow, we are going to be totally on track. We are going to be here well before the games, and we are going to have some awesome moments in the coming 3 days. So do like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and look forward to more of the Indian kids dominating on the global stage in the Challengers Chess Tour and subsequently in the Champion Chess Tour.
Yes, we are all hoping for that, looking forward to that. So 3 more days to go. Let's send our good wishes to all the kids we are rooting for and follow the tournament.
Yes. So thank you so much and see you tomorrow.